very tight, and just what we need.
One more question for me then. What's more important this year? And I mean, this is just a question we ask on this side of the microphone. Is it more important this year to win that rugby championship, or is it more important to beat the Springboks twice at home?
They're one and the same, aren't they? I think anyone that's looking at it to win the rugby championship, you got to beat them twice. Well, anyone's got to beat each other twice. That's probably the reality of it.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Cheers, Marty.
Andrew Seville.
Sev, we've got everyone. We've got the big dogs on.
Hello. Wouldn't go that far. You can hear me okay, obviously?
Yeah, got you clear. Thank you.
Have you settled on your team, and will that be the same team for Test 1 and 2 in Argentina?
Yep, settle on the team. We name it internally tomorrow morning. And look, what I've learned in the last 3 tests, you never guarantee that it's going to be the same team. So we play rugby, and it's a game of brutality, and it's a beautiful part of it. So, look, guys have got to play well. It's a competitive squad, and we'll look to have some continuity, but also if people perform, and we need to build some depth, there could be a couple of changes.
I know you mentioned the Barretts before. What about the other guys that are coming back from injuries? Is everyone available that you took?
Wallace is still not available for the first test, and Tamaiti Williams has still got another week of full training with us before he becomes available for the second test as well. But the boys off the plane that played NPC, Simon Parker, Peter Larkai, and Josh Lord made it pretty well. They trained with us today, and they were great.
Simon and Parker all okay?
Yeah, he's good, mate. He's a tunny fella. He's ready to roll. He's good. He started great in. It was good to talk to the team about what it meant for him to be here, and what's inspired him and how he's got here. Was a nice moment for him, and like we normally traditionally do, we huckered him in and welcomed him.
So he did that in front of the team today or yesterday, or?
Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, no, we it's part of tradition, All Black tradition. When someone arrives and is named into the squad, so it was a great moment for us to get him into the group and be a part of the All Blacks.
Just finally from me, how good is it? Yes, you were together for the French series, but how good is it to get away?
Yeah. Oh, it's great. One of the gifts of being involved with an international rugby team is touring, and you're living with a group of people that love the same sport as you, and you've got some great mates, and you've got a target at the end of the week, but you enjoy the process of getting there and having fun. But also when you cross the line for training or playing, you can switch, but the connections offered are a great part of our game.
Hi, Coach. How are you, mate?
You're good, Jamie. Great, thank you.
Good. Good to hear. Hey, just on Artie, he's played, I think, about 17 games this year already, and started and finished most of them. Given he's such an important part of the team, are we going to be seeing some sort of load management for him going forward, just given how much he's already played this year?
He just had 3 weeks off, and he's probably in the form of his life. So we'll take it week by week. We're mindful of his minutes, but look, one thing about him, he's resilient and consistent, and we look after and manage individuals, but he's in the zone at the moment, so we're pleased. But thanks for the sports science feedback from you, Jamie. Well done, good homework.
Thank you, mate. And just on Argentina, now they've had a really interesting year. They've managed to beat, I think, every other major test nation that they've played, including the British and Irish Lions. And then they've just dropped a series to England. What have you made of them as an opponent? What have you learnt from them over the last year, especially since the last time you played them?
Yeah, well, it's still in their memories a year ago, and a couple of bounces of the ball, and stayed in a fight in Wellington. They create a lot. They're a team with a lot of experience. A lot of them play in Europe. They're really well coached, and they play with passion. It's been a long time since we've been in Cordoba and played, and with their fans and the passion that come with it, it's on the night. As you said, they create a lot, and they've got speed to finish, so they're threatening. And I've mentioned this before, but with Test footy, the top 8, anyone can beat anyone on the night. You've got to be at your best in every game. So that's the exciting part of this tour.
Yeah.
Alex, do you have any questions?
Can do. Evening, Razor. Hope all as well. Just on Cortez, has he stepped up in the absence of your other recognised nines?
Yeah, he's played over 10 tests for us now. We gave him a good crack last year to be ready for moments like this. He's learning like everyone does, but he gets the ball off the deck and into our 10's hands, and we want to play fast, and he'll just get better with experience and maturity.
We've obviously had the news last week that Richie Mo'unga is coming back midway through next year. Has there been a reaction in the squad? Has it talked about it all?
In our squad?
Yeah.
No, I think everyone's just really, really pleased. I think New Zealand Rugbyans pleased, and just general rugby supporters that he's coming back into our game, and he's going to be around for a Rugby World Cup. He had served our country for a long time, and he's going to come back and do it again. And one thing we're really proud of is all the retention of our players. We've got a group of guys that are hugely committed to the All Blacks, and it's great to have another one back.
Do you have to sort of put an arm around guys like Bowden and Damien to let them know that there is sort of room for all the 10s you can have?
It's a pretty leading question. No, they're big boys. They know the game. It's a game of professionalism. We're here to compete. The jersey's bigger than everyone, buddy. It's so everyone knows that it's always earned. That's the exciting thing about it.
Cool. I'll hand over to give someone else a crack.
Hey, Razor, Mark Hinton here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, excellent. Hey, apologies if hopefully this wasn't asked. I just missed the very start. But how ready is Wallace for test action if required? And, the second part, any concerns about his lack of recent rugby?
Yeah. He's, at the moment, tracking for test 2, if all going well with his recovery, same as Tamati Williams.
So are they the only 2 of your group there that you won't consider for week 1? Is everyone else fit and available?
Yes, they are.
And just talk to Skipper and Bowden, the 2 Barrett boys. They've obviously both made full recoveries. Just speak to their readiness, I guess.
Yeah, a couple of the Barretts are good. Yeah, they're Bowden's hand's fine, and Scooter, his legs all good. He's rehabbed really well. He's taken that chance to really recondition, so he's in great condition.
And just lastly from me, Scott, just the wing area, a lot of discussion around, I guess, options and who's best in those positions. Does it feel like, from your perspective, it's still a bit of a work in progress in terms of, I guess, establishing a clear pecking order, in your group? Is this still a competitive area as you look at it?
Yeah, a lot of areas are competitive, which is great. And, you give guys opportunities, and they have to take it and own it. And it's good. It's a good thing. Like, we've got a lot of guys that can play in different positions. It's how I feel about you're playing 1 or 2 positions, and guys have doing that at the moment. That some are transitioning, some have been there for a long time, and we've just got to get the best out of them, whatever the situation is, build some combinations and cohesion, and keep creating so they can finish.
Thank you.
Hey, Razor, can you hear me?
Yep, I've got you, Richard.
Yeah. G'day. Hey, we talk about playing in Argentina. Obviously, you scored the famous try, 2001. But just to I know you've touched on it before, but what makes it so difficult playing in Argentina? you know, your recollections as a player, now you're going as an All Blacks coach. Can you just give us an idea of what the atmosphere, etc., you can expect to be?
Yeah, we're actually trained at River Plate facility yesterday where that game was back in 2001, and I just sort of, you know, that 40 meters I ran, you know, like I just sort of extended out. No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
It was just catch and dive, really, I think it was. But it was nice to be back there and sort of, you know, reflect on it. But it's quite interesting. The rugby over here is such a football country, but when you arrive as All Blacks, everyone remembers it. You know, they remember that moment. They remember Maradona being there. They remember them leading to 80 minutes. So they're still living on it. You know, they haven't beaten us in Argentina. So there's a lot of passion. You know, like the game that we went to the other day, the football game for Boca's Junior, you know, everything's, the hands is exclamation marks, and they're just so passionate. Like they sang for 2 hours. Their playlist was unbelievable. It just wouldn't stop. It just kept going and going, and that's what we expect in the Cordoba.
Okay, just on your try, I mean, I'm a generation above these kids who probably weren't even born in your team. But do they know the history about that sort of thing? And they try, did anyone come up to you and say, "Oh, coach"?
No, I didn't do a highlights reel of myself, Richard. No, not at all. I was probably not appropriate, but I don't know if they've got TikTok and all that stuff to do what they need to do. But no, we didn't. We should always start the week with history, where we sit, you know, what the past is, and what past All Blacks and legacy has been left here, and what the expectations is for us, and we shaped it. And I think everyone knows what's ahead of us this weekend. Now it's a chance to build and perform on Saturday night.
Okay, good. Scott. Just one last injury on my list. Tupu Vai, has he fully recovered from his concussion symptoms?
He's fine. He's clear.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks.
Did you meet Maradona that day?
No, I didn't. But I know he was definitely there. There was more chat about him. I think Maradona's here, everyone knew, but no, I didn't.
Hey, Razor, John Day here. Are you still buying Ben Blair some beers from that day?
Yeah, Ben, it's afflicted. I suppose you sort of move on as a player, but when it comes back to you, like Ben obviously had a nice right foot step. That's probably the only move he did have, and you know, and he can only pass off his right hand as well. So it was great to get that on the chest and dive in. But he created it. I think Contaponi missed touch and a couple of passes later in the far corner, but that was a hell of a test. As a reminder, the passion that night, and you know, and just getting to play them, you realise how much these tests over here are and how much it means to them. So yeah, as a reminder.
And just on your current squad, you got some newbies. Simon Parker's one of them. Would he be ready for a cauldron in Argentina and Test rugby this weekend? And what do you like about him, and what position can he make an impact?
Oh, we obviously like him a lot because we picked him, and he can play 6 and 8, and you know, he's off one sleep. But he turned up today. We've had some great weather here, and he started straight in. So we'll find out Thursday if he's playing some footy on Saturday.
And Kyle Preston as well. How's he fitting in at the next level up?
Yeah, good. No, look, great. Look, sort of 1 or 2 trainings in. So look, he's getting the ball off the deck and he does his homework. He's a good pro.
Cheers.
Thank you.
We're getting close to needing to wrap up here, I think, team. Is there anyone with a burning question just to finish off?
Can I just ask, Razor, did everyone in the squad go to Boca Juniors? It looked like quite a few of the guys there.
There's a few that didn't. But there was a good crew. Like it was a pretty special moment. You know, obviously, you know, the connection with the team was Adidas, which was their sponsor as well, and there's a couple of teams over here with that connection. So that was a nice touch for them to go and represent a team that they also sponsor. And yeah, like I was saying, it was like a concert really with football being played. Yeah.
And you head to Cordoba on Thursday, is that right?
Correct. Thursday afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
You went to it. Awesome.
Strong.
Hey, thanks everyone.
Just before you
Thanks,
go,
Mike.
one more for me, just quickly. Argentina's never beaten the All Blacks in Argentina. How wary of that do you have to be for a side going up against a side that seems to have been inspired by making history against the All Blacks in recent years?
Firstly, just back it, make sure you know you're aware of it. That comes with the expectation of our duty, and just realise there's a bit of history in your moment. We've got to prepare for it and be our best on the night.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Cheers.
everyone. Thanks.
Ka
Dave.
kite. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us in Cordoba. It's a beautiful place. Great to fly in here, and a lot of history, and it's great to be here. It's been what, 30 years since there's a test, so thanks for the warm welcome. Cheers. Any questions? Yeah.
Well, Razor, welcome to Cordoba. Can you talk us through about the team, the changes, maybe taking into account the one that you played against France? There are a lot of changes, but can you talk us through about why did you choose the 15 men that you chose?
Yeah, look, we've got a balanced and experienced squad. We've got a few players that, obviously we used the 3 tests against the French to play a whole squad, and now we're focusing in against a very, very good Argentinian team. They've picked a strong squad, a lot of experience in their team too, so it's going to be a great game. We like it, we play fast, they play fast, and skilled rugby, so it's on, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, look, having sort of that 3-week period and you're playing the 4th weekend, it's a real balance. We've got a few guys that played a bit of rugby and a few guys that, how do we recharge? Like a sort of an extra little pre-season. They trained really hard, a lot of conditioning. They were pretty keen to get back into training for rugby in a group, and we've had a great week. Buenos Aires has been great. You know, they've turned it on for us here in Argentina, police escorts and the buses and, you know, the football games, everything that comes with it. But, you know, we've trained well, which is how you improve.
Remember when we talked on Monday that I asked you what Bowden Barrett or Damien McKenzie brought to you in the field? Well, now that we know that Bowden is wearing the number 10, why him and why did you choose him against Argentina?
Bowden's experienced. He's been around for a long period of time. He can get you around the field, and D-Mac is one of the best players in the game to come off the bench and change your pace, speed. It's a great balance. Bowden's in great form, so he gets picked.
You and the team prepared the mindset to play in a full of Argentina in a really big stadium here in Cordoba.
We went to the soccer on Sunday. The football, it was just a wee reminder for the passion when they start singing, how important, you know, momentum is. They can get a lot of momentum, the Argentinians, from the energy of the crowd. So look, we understand, it's what we hear, it's what we love. You know, South America, you've got that passion, and we understand that we've got to turn up.
We as Argentina admire a lot of things about New Zealand rugby.
Yeah.
What things do you admire from Argentina rugby?
We're fortunate to have trained at some of your club teams' grounds. San Isidro. Yeah, San Isidro, that one. San Isidro. The facilities, you know, the grounds, the number of players, the depth in your juniors, you know, 70-odd teams. You go 5 or 6 deep in your senior teams, under 21s age group. So just the quality of your club rugby is very impressive.
What's your concerns about Argentina playing?
That when they play, when they look, they're a great passing team. They work hard off the ball to create opportunities. They've got a great experienced balanced back line and forward pack. They've been in a lot of battles together. We saw against the Lions what they can create. They're impressive.
Besides that, that when Argentina likes to play with the ball, of course the kicking game, the breakdown, set pieces, of those three things, what do you think is going to be around the game?
Well, set piece in any test match is critical. If you get a great set piece, you can create the opportunity to kick and put pressure. Their kicking game's great. You know, they are extremely well coached in that regard, and they execute it, and they can put you in the corners. So probably a combination of that. You know, we know how aggressive they are, and they're good at hard on the ball in the breakdown too. So all three of them. I'm just answering your question with a question, really. So yeah. Yeah.
Argentina has Pablo, you know, well him, and
Kremer.
Marco Kremer, and you have to provide and Kirifi. Do you think that they are going to be one of the keys of the match?
Yeah. Obviously, my friend, my amigo, Pablo. When Pablo turns up, Argentina turn up. We know that. You know, that's he's a hell of a player, and obviously Kremer's very physical and tough. There'll be a big battle to provide transition beautifully into six. And Kirifi's just starting his career, but he can have a lot of presence at the breakdown. And these are the nights that you want to see someone like him go head to head. Yeah. Muchas gracias. Thank you. Good evening.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Forever Sports. Big weekend of international rugby, and as a result, we've got a World Rankings preview for you with the Box at jeopardy in terms of losing the number one spot. Should they not beat the Wallabies this weekend? If we win, then we're good. All good. Don't have to stress about any other results. However, if we draw or lose, that number one spot could very much pass on to the likes of the All Blacks or an Ireland, depending on what kind of the margin of victory is and the likes. Before we get into it, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Very big year for World Rankings, given the fact that the Rugby World Cup draw will take place in December for 2027, all based on what the final rankings are, based on what 1st December or whatever the last international game of the calendar year is. After that, the draw will take place in December, and that will then be it. So very, very interesting to sort of see how these sort of rankings kind of fluctuate in terms of trying to get that best possible draw. It is a much better system than I think what we had a few years ago, where the draw was done a lot earlier. And all of a sudden, we, for example, had a Scotland, Ireland, and South Africa in the same pool, despite the fact that 3 of them were all in the top 5. You know, sort of group of death kind of situation. We still might have a situation like that, because obviously these rankings can still change quite a lot before the World Cup. There is still almost sort of 2 more years of international rugby, but at least it'll be a much better reflection than it was even, for example, a year ago, where the Wallabies would have been quite far down. I expect them to be much further up and kind of where they should be by the end of the year. But let's get into it, shall we? And look at some of the permutations for this weekend. Right, so as mentioned, South Africa's number one spot is in threat if they do not beat Australia tomorrow evening. If they draw, it opens the door for New Zealand to potentially come in and take that number one spot if they beat Argentina. That'll be the first time New Zealand will be ranked number one in the world since 2021, which is a long time for a side that basically, I think, was setting records for how long they were at the top of the pile there. However, if the Box were to lose to the Wallabies, then New Zealand will only have to draw or win. So just a draw will be enough for them to go to number one. Very interestingly is that Ireland, despite being in third, could actually finish the weekend in number one. This is if South Africa and New Zealand both lose by more than 15 points. Pretty unlikely, but there is always that opportunity, and it would be bizarre, wouldn't it? All of a sudden, we go into next week and Ireland are back to number one. But we'd have to, as I said, a lot would have to come back to that. If one of them lose, for example, so if we lose, for example, and All Blacks win, All Blacks go to number one, Ireland will go to number two, we'll actually go to number three. So this is the thing. We actually had a risk of dropping down to third if we lose to the Wallabies, given the fact that we're at home, that they're at, where they're ranked, for example. So you can't really sort of stuff up these kind of games from a world rankings perspective. The good news is we are playing the likes of New Zealand, Ireland, France, which means that we can gain those places back if we do lose it. In terms of South Africa, we will retain the top spot if we beat Australia, no matter what, even though we can't improve our rating, for example. And that is because New Zealand can only gain a maximum of 0.5 rating points if they beat Argentina, even if they beat them by 15 points, for example. They can only get 0.5 points, and they trail by more than that to South Africa. So, as long as we win, for example, doesn't matter what our margin is, we will retain that top spot, because obviously you won't lose any points in the world rankings sort of system. Argentina will oust Australia for 6th place, which will be enough for a band one place come the Rugby World Cup 2027 draw in December. You see why it starts to become very, very important. You want to be in those different sort of categories, those different sort of ratings, so that top 6, vital. If Australia are beaten and they avoid defeat against New Zealand, a draw for Australia away to the World Champions would have the same impact if Los Pumas are victorious over New Zealand for the first time on home soil. And the scenario can also happen if Australia end their 14-year barren spell on South African soil, 50 years they won it at Ellis Park, providing that the Wallabies win margin is less than 15 points and Argentina is more than 15 points. And then Argentina cannot fall lower than 7th this weekend, even with a heavy loss to New Zealand, although only just, as this would leave them only 0.04 points above Scotland in 8th. Big opportunity, I think, for Argentina, to be honest. I mean, if they go and beat the All Blacks at home, which is doable. I think it's doable. You've got an Argentinian side missing a few players, and for me, that's probably the reason why they won't. I don't think it's necessarily the reason that they're not good enough. But they've beaten the All Blacks in New Zealand a couple of times in the last few years, and they haven't been able to do it at home. And they were basically saying the sort of theme of this week is they're desperate to do it at home, to do it in front of a home crowd and to have their support and experience beating the All Blacks, because they haven't really done it recently they did it, I think, in Argentina. So it's been a long sort of time coming, but it's an interesting thing. I mean, you look at the world rankings at the moment, it goes Box, New Zealand, Ireland, France, England, Australia, Argentina, Scotland. Now, I think Argentina are a better side than Australia, so I'll be interested to see what happens when those two teams play against each other. I do think at the moment the world rankings are pretty accurate, to be honest. Your Wales outside the top 10, Fiji ranked better than Italy, which I think if they play tomorrow, that would be much in between them. I think Fiji's a better side. We are seeing Fiji become a proper tier 1 nation, which is really, really good to see. But the main thing is you want to be in those different, what they're calling bands, and those basically, it's sort of from a ranking system, you kind of have seeds, basically, and seedings. So you want to be in that band 1, where you obviously get more favorable seedings than if you're in band 2 or band 3, etc., etc. So that's why these world rankings are quite important this year. What are your predictions? What do we see the world rankings as next week? I don't see us losing, so I think that South Africa will remain at the top. Be very cool to see Argentina do a job over New Zealand. They would actually drop down to 3rd, and that will make everything more exciting coming the New Zealand series in less than a month's time. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.
Hello and welcome to Maul and Disorder on Forever Sports. It is a Thursday. We are 2 days, in fact less than 48 hours away from the Rugby Championship start and the Boks back on the field. And excitement levels are brewing. We had a Wallabies team announcement today. We had Rassie Erasmus announcing the team on Monday, of all things. So we've got a lot to get through here on Maul and Disorder. And we're also going to be asking you guys a couple of questions. So first of all, we've got 2 things that I need you guys to do. We have got a vote running in the comments, and basically we're asking this new Stormers logo, yay or nay? Try or lie? That's the segment. We're going to get to it a little bit later. But the big thing I want to know is what are your score predictions for Saturday? That's my big question. Now, as always, I'm never going to be joined by myself on More Than Disorder, so I'm here with Mr. Alistair de Block. Ali, how are you?
How's it, Stevie? Lekker and self, man. Good to be back.
Oh, can't complain. Box are back. You know, I
dude,
mean,
what a pleasure.
the Box are back. We're gonna have Brow after this. Like,
See what Rusty's done so well over this past, couple of months. Having these utility players,
yeah,
even more than months. I mean, even stretching back to the Nienaber days, which weren't too long ago, of course. But all of these players that play various positions. We've got the Quajas, Andre Esterhuizen now, who's apparently a flanker in disguise. Sia playing at 8. We've known him to be at 6 in his book career, but I mean, those who have been watching Super Rugby, the URC, have seen Sia playing at 8 at the Sharks for most of the season. So there's a lot of value being placed on these players that can play many positions, and as a result, you see that the split in the bench doesn't necessarily mean that it will be that way, that all the forwards are going to remain forwards and backs, vice versa.
I mean, we need to start just taking the piss. I want to see Peter Steph the Toy being. I want to see Andre Esterhuizen coming on the field and Peter Steph the Toy going to the wing.
Well, I mean, the way Tony Ball works is that sometimes Peter Steph is on the wing anyway, and it's so great seeing him run into. I love it, man.
Yeah, I mean, seeing that guy marauding down a wing. I mean, imagine trying to be a wing, and first of all, most of the game you're kind of worrying about Kurt Lawrence. Not a particularly big physical threat, but gas, the steps, the works. All of a sudden, you suddenly start seeing Peter Steph the Toy floating around in the wings, and see a Khaleesi starting in the wings. I mean, it's a tough time to be a wing at the moment.
No, for sure. Like, if I'm Max Jorgensen and I see Peter Steph running at me on the touchline, I'm cucking myself.
I mean, it's bad enough when, he's in the tight phases and he's kind of running onto a ball, but now you're talking about it, Peter Steph the Toy in full flow. And he's not slow.
No, not at all. No.
So lots to go through. I mean, in terms of some of the picks that we've made, what I want to sort of talk a little bit about, Sia Khaleesi at 8, and then a couple of interesting people to start. Let's start with Sia Khaleesi at 8. You're a Sharks fan. You've watched him at 8 for the Sharks. A little bit of a different way than they actually play in the likes of that. But the big thing that Rassi spoke about was the breakdown and trying to sort of have the likes of a Sia Khaleesi and a Marco van Staden on the pitch at the same time. Do you think this is going to be an experiment we might see again, or do you think this is kind of a one and done Sia at 8 type of thing?
I think it's something we definitely could be seeing again. I mean, particularly while Jasper's off away for his sins against Italy.
Yeah, literally.
And Rassi is not the one to try something and then just shy away if it doesn't work first time. I mean, most of the time it does. Give him credit, but Sia at 8 is definitely something I think we will see. He's shown that at the Sharks he's got a lot of talent to do that position. Like you say, there is a slight difference between the Sharks and the Boks. The difference is the Boks win and the Sharks don't. But yeah, look, we'll be seeing Sia at 8 a lot more, or maybe not a lot more, but I mean, just to like last week, I said I can't predict what's going through Rassi's mind.
I think this is the biggest problem. I mean, we've got a very fun platform that we're kind of developing in the background, and it's one of the features is to be able to predict your teams, predict your Springbok teams. And I mean, it's interesting because I do a show every Monday usually, unless Rassi decides to name the damn team. So Rassi, if you're watching this, can you just Tuesday, please?
It's a Tuesday.
Wednesday would be phenomenal. I mean, I'm all in for Wednesday. It gives us 2 days of hype, but at least a Tuesday. Like now I'm going to whack out like team predictions on a Sunday. You don't even know who the injuries are, and you got to try and make a team prediction. But some people really enjoy it. Some people are sit there saying, "Oh, there's no point in predicting it." And I just think, I mean, people who have no plan on trying to predict it and say there's no point, I just don't think they enjoy life. Because I think this for me is you got to try and put yourself in that mind,
exactly.
The Rassi Erasmus mind, which must be absolute chaos, very organized, very direct chaos. And that's the thing, we just never know. And that's why we can't wait to launch this platform, because then we get to see all the people who say, no, because people tell me point blank, no, that won't be the team. This will be the team. And the fact of the matter is, I don't think anyone's ever predicted a Rassi Erasmus team down to the T.
100% correctly, yeah. Now, I think if I were to go into Rassi's mind and someone when you brought me back out of brain damage, because I just wouldn't be able to deal with all of that.
No.
Like you say, chaos going on in there.
No.
Organized chaos,
but
I mean, chaos nonetheless.
And I mean, even the coaches meet. So Joe Schmidt's a phenomenal moment, and in his press conference that he spoke about Rassi being the innovator, and Felix Jones being the innovator, and Tony Brown, the influence he brings and the kind of innovation he brings. And he said he'd love to be in the coaching meetings. And he said if anybody's got footage of those coaches meeting and can divvy it out to him, please let them know. But he makes a good point. I mean, the stuff we see, team selections, midfield line, I mean, those coaching meetings must be
mental.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think we got like a small glimpse into it when Chasing the Sun came out both times, and I mean, it's a shame that we don't get to see more of that. But yeah, those meetings must be absolutely insane. To be a fly on the wall for that would be super cool.
Yeah, I mean, we even saw Don Human say, no, he wants 7 1 split or whatever, and I say, no, we can't do it. And you can just see Don's face like,
I'm about to dick you.
Yeah,
bro.
listen, you don't tell me I can't have my 7 1 split. I want an 8-0 split. I want 6 props on the bench. But speaking of props, big opportunity for a couple of youngsters this weekend. Ninja Vessels, Asnat and Klabakanye. First of all, they're coming off the bench together, which is an interesting selection itself. But you've got a Vincent Koch in the squad. You could be playing, for example. Bowen Venter, hasn't actually played as many games, but is a bit older than Ninja Vessels. But these two are very much project players. I think the big question is, and maybe this is what we're trying to find out this weekend, is are these players general Springbok project players, or is this Project 2027 players?
I think they definitely have an eye on the World Cup 2027, so got to get the games in beforehand, make sure that Oaks are comfortable with test match rugby. And obviously, looking at Ntlabakanye specifically, they're making sure that guy's fitness is up. And obviously it is if he's been playing for the Bucks, but I think we're going to see an absolutely different beast by the time 2027 comes, given the investment into him as a project player for the World Cup.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is you got Trevor Newcon and France Malherbe becoming injured. And
I don't know if they make it back in.
Well, that's the problem. Well, I think the problem is, are they going to be the same level when they come back? Like with France Malherbe, they're both basically out for the year. Those are big injuries when you're 35 and you're 36 years old.
That's the problem. It's age.
So if they don't come back, I think this is the insurance policy. You've got Thomas du Toit, played mostly at loose head, but can obviously cover tight end, and that's where he plays more naturally these days. If you suddenly go to the World Cup and you're tight head short, you want to make sure that an Asanati, for example, has got. Rassi basically said he basically mentioned 10 caps, 10 to 12 caps. He said that's kind of, I think ideally he won 20 caps plus, but he kind of settles in on 10 caps sort of per player. And I think that we are going to see them sort of try and build those sort of caps into them. But let's go and talk a little bit about Wallabies, some of the way that they might sort of counteract some of the box stuff and some of the key selections. By the way, please do, if you are watching, please make sure that you do get your score predictions in on the chat over here. We've got Kobus Binderman, who said SA 34, Oz 25, and we've got Ronnie Mulligan going with 25 Boca, 18 Aussies. So those are some of the predictions that we've gotten so far.
That's interesting. Beginning of the year, I mean, obviously it's a long time ago in the rugby calendar, but nobody would have predicted these games to be as close as people are predicting them now.
Well, it's amazing, our 2 matches for the British and Irish Lions. And it's so difficult to judge a British and Irish Lions side because they are the best of a group of nations, but at the same time, they're also a team that gets put together so quickly that they're not quite as gelled as your international sides.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think it's difficult to kind of judge the standard that you're sort of playing in. But let's talk about the Wallabies. James O'Connor at 10, Nick White at 9.
For me,
Big
those
calls.
are the players to watch, eh? Nick White shouldn't be here.
It's supposed to be in retirement.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be on the beach.
It's funny, last week I just felt this like chill down my spine and I checked Google and that was when the Wallabies plane landed. It means that Nick White's in my country, man. Don't like that.
It's going to be an interesting reception on Saturday.
Yeah, look, the guy he riles people up. He's done it successfully against the Bucks before, and that's exactly what he's going to be trying to do again. James O'Connor, the seasoned veteran. I think it's been 3 years since he's played for the Wallabies, but I mean, by no means a slouch.
Yeah, I mean, so I was actually doing a bit of research. I was reading up about it. I mean, he made his debut, I think, 2011. No, I think it was in 2010.
He was 18.
He was a bronze medal winner in the 2011 World Cup. And he's 35, so he would have been 21, 20 at the time. So he's had such an interesting career because he then went to Europe, came back in 2015 to try and make the 2015 World Cup, didn't make it. Went back to Europe, came back, went to Toulon where he then kicked out for a couple of different reasons. He then went back to Australia for the 2019 season, trying to make it back to the World Cup squad. Got invited to the broader squad, but didn't really make it. But he's since stayed there, and he's sort of played for the Reds and kind of got back to some form. Then had a very good season at Crusaders. And I felt like watching him, he just looked like a different player. I think certain players, especially players who maybe have had a bit of a a party sort of background when they were younger. In fact, I actually once saw him in a club in Johannesburg. I was about 18. I think it was about 48 hours before a Super Rugby game. They were down to play the Lions. But he's now sort of looks like he's got that maturity. Sort of he's grown up a little. I mean, he's got the talent. The fact is, he missed so many years of international rugby. He's still got over 60 caps for the Wallabies.
Well, I mean, we can test that theory. I'll go to the hotel and offer him some nose beers, see what he says.
Yeah, I think we get a couple of days out for the game. But I think he's going to be a very interesting selection. I think he's the right type of selection. I mean, they spoke about the fact that Tom Leineck obviously didn't make it. Ben Johnson pulled up now. So, it's either going James O'Connor plus 60 caps on the older side, or you're going with the 10 Edmund, who's playing, I think, would be playing a second game. What's interesting is that there's no natural fly-off cover. Nick White is the fly-off cover.
Yeah. This man had to come out of retirement to do such. But I think James O'Connor was a fantastic selection, and they should have selected him anyway if he was available, which obviously he was. I mean, this man has tormented South Africa in his past. Sure, it's been a good few years ago, like harken back to the quarterfinal of the 2011 World Cup. He's the one that kicked the points over to win Australia the game. The Tri-Nations, as it was, 2010, both games, he scored a couple tries, didn't miss a kick. Yeah, the man's tormented us before, and I don't see any reason as to why he wouldn't have the confidence to come and do it again, given that he's had more experience as a rugby player since.
Yeah, I suppose also a bit of a nothing to lose, everything to gain type of situation. I think there are a few challenges harder than the box at Ellis Park. Sure. I think New Zealand, Eden Park, for example, an island in Dublin, but the box specifically at Ellis Park, they don't generally lose. The last time Australia won at Ellis Park against the box was, I think, 1962.
1962?
Yeah. And because I mean, shame. I mean, I think it was Tom Wright and Angus Bell in the press today, and they were told about this, and they said, "Have you guys spoken about it?" And to be fair to them, they basically said they had spoken about it. The fact that it's the elephant in the room. The fact that they haven't beaten the box in 50 odd years at Ellis Park.
Sure.
And that makes it quite special. So it's interesting from a psyche point of view. That's going to be playing into them in a big way in terms of they've got the chance to do something special. But it also, I think, illustrates how big a game this is. And you can't have someone playing their second test for the Wallabies against the box at Ellis Park. You've got to go with someone like James O'Connor for the experience.
I mean, on the contrary, you could chuck him in there thinking, well, box at Ellis Park, are we going to win anyway? Let's get this guy some...
Lamb to the slaughter.
Yeah.
Like, we're losing anyway. You might as well get into it.
No, shame. No, that's a horrible outlook. But yeah, look, James O'Connor's going to be very interesting to watch. He's going to bring quite a balanced style to his play. And yeah, let's see how it goes, man. I'm quite excited to see him play again.
Next question. Bok game plan. We saw us running quite a lot, obviously, especially in Georgia, where we kind of look to run everything. Fast pitch, dry conditions, nice and warm. Grant Williams, Moini Bok, Andre Esterhazen, Edel van der Merwe, Apele Fassi, Kurtley Orense. I haven't even mentioned Jesse Creel, who I think Joe Schmidt name dropped about 3 or 4 times. I mean, from a Bok game plan, surely the plan is we're going to run you off your feet.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, with Tony Ball being a thing now, it seems to be we I don't want to say we're going away from the physicality that the Boks are known for, but rather integrating that physicality with a fast ball running style type of play. The type of play that Hugh Bladen himself would have loved to have commented, running rugby.
You're running into the corner.
Yeah. And particularly with, I mean, obviously we're in Joburg. We've been here for the past couple of months, and it's been dry. It's been pretty warm as well, even though it's winter, and it's going to be perfect conditions for that type of style.
Yeah, I mean, the Wallabies been training out at Cistidians, and there was a couple of sore bodies from any sort of collisions when you're falling on that field because it was hard. Dry and hard.
Yeah.
Well, I always think, what we should actually really do when we're playing against the All Blacks is take them to Kimberley.
Yeah, put them in Griquas Park, man.
Like at the moment we don't have to because we're playing quite well. But during the dark days, when Alistair could see was picking half the side that he wanted to pick, back in those days, we should have just said, right, well, we've got to try and even the odds here. Take them to Griquas Park and say, right,
so cool.
I want to see, somebody. I want to see Dave McKenzie dumped onto Griquas Park and see if he gets up. None of these cushioned you know, like as parks, nice and green and lush, and it's like landing on a flippin'
elite, you know.
bed.
Yeah.
We've got to take them to the tough locations in this country.
I reckon the Griquas could have beaten the All Blacks at Griquas Park. You know?
I think they could be anybody. They could have beaten the 2015 All Blacks at Griquas Park. So that place is where people got to die, really. We're going to move into a new section called the Global Scrum, and basically kind of looking at some of the leading stories around the world and some of the big news happening, and a very interesting development currently in the R360 rugby tournament. We are talking global superstars, international franchises, a tournament that moves from location to location. We're talking about teams in the US, teams in Europe. Actually, I haven't much mention of teams in South Africa, but games being played in Saudi, for example.
I've seen Nou Camp, Barcelona. They're looking at. It's crazy.
The Bernabeu they've spoken about, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. You know,
they
big
play every sport there. Yeah.
Big stadiums and big money. Reportedly, a couple of people have committed to it. There was a report saying a couple of South Africans have committed to it. Your
nameless, but
your quick take. In for it, out for it.
My immediate thoughts out, but that's me as as a rugby fan, we're always hesitant to change.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, I understand as a player, you're probably in for it because of the money it can bring, like the external investment, power, and knowing that. I mean, I read that one of the ex-New Zealand international stars, can't remember his name now off the top of my head, but he's doubling his salary by signing one of these contracts, you know.
No, they're talking stupid money, you know.
And like the guy can settle his family and his family's family for the rest of their lives, you know. So as a player, I would absolutely welcome it. As a fan, I hate it. I think it threatens the structure of rugby that I'm used to watching. And if it's something that I don't like, therefore it must not happen.
See, you know, I was like that as well. And I must admit, the more I'm going into, the more I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe we need a bit of a shake-up in rugby. Because rugby became professional in the 90s, but rugby just doesn't take itself seriously enough. Well, actually, sometimes it takes itself too seriously and doesn't try and grow the global game from a commercial point of view. You know, you look at the Springboks, they are the cream of the crop of this country. They are our sporting superstars. They've won us World Cups, like our nations, the works, and none of them earn as much as like the Proteas players, for example, earn, because cricket and IPL and the whole thing like that. I mean, I think Andre Pollard was at one stage the best paid rugby player in the world at 20 million rand a year. 100 Classen makes more than that in one IPL.
Yeah, look, I mean, that is a good point as well. I mean, I guess it's something that if it takes off and it works and is a really cool thing, I'll eat my words, you know.
Yeah, well, I just want to see, I want to see us, like, I want to see Anton Dupont partnering Moni Liebach, you know, with...
Yeah, it's a watch.
With Bundy Aki at inside centre, Jesse Crew at outside centre, you know, I just like... And
but
this
then doesn't that sacrifice the URC, the Champions Cup?
It probably does, you know, but as a Lions fan, I'm not losing much. Yeah, I'm not, it's call a spade, yeah. We're going into URC 4 and we still haven't made playoffs. But I think this becomes a very attractive option for, like, a Malcolm Marx, for example. He's playing in Japan. As far as most of the South African public are, he's out of sight, out of mind. The problem is that SA Rugby have said, if you go and you sign for this league, you will not be eligible for the Springbok. Which I think is going to be, it's Live Golf all over again. Live Golf versus PGA Tour.
Yeah.
And we're already seeing that the Live Golf players can now go play in the Ryder Cup, for example. We're already seeing majors giving them exemptions to allow them to play in majors. So I think the problem is, if they get the right backing, I think if this genuinely gets off the ground and they've got the kind of financial backing, I don't see how, to a certain degree, it doesn't succeed to a certain... I think the biggest issue is obviously a fan perspective. Is how do you get the fans there? You can probably get the players there because you can write a check big enough to get them there. You know,
money talks, man.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, somebody like a Circle is probably a bad example because I think he'll hang up the boots after the next World Cup. But if he was 2 years younger and now he's 34, 35 at the next World Cup, and you're thinking I've got 2 years left, you are one of the biggest names in rugby. Why would you not go and earn? And we're talking like 10 million. I mean, people. Some of the sort of.
I mean, I've been reading dollar salaries in like the millions of
literally,
dollars.
That's what I'm saying. You know, like $1 million salaries.
Yeah,
you know, like $2, $3, $4 million, $5 million.
17 million rand for what 8 weeks, 9 weeks of
Exactly.
rugby. Yes.
You know, and it's going to be less toning on your body, for example. You know, play shorter seasons. So you can see the concept. I think the biggest problem is, I mean, having a rugby game at Camp Nou. Oh, I mean, how amazing is that?
The question is, would the Spaniards be there to watch?
Exactly. Are you going to find 90,000? And a lot of them are supposed to be based in the States. Now, yes, the World Cup's going to the States in 2031, and this is, I think, probably viewed as one of the things to try and up the interest in it. I don't see how you put 60,000. It doesn't matter who you bring. I mean, they've sold out stadiums when they brought the All Blacks against the USA, but it's like a once-off thing. It's like once every 10 years type of thing, and they go to Washington or whatever. You have these games every week. I don't see themselves filling the stadiums.
Well, I mean, we have the similar problem in South Africa, I guess.
Well, that's my interest. Because I tell you what,
we claim to be the best rugby fans in the world, which we are. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's difficult to fill 60,000 seater Ellis Park every Saturday to come watch the Ospreys play, I guess.
Correct.
You know?
Correct. And my thing is, if you bring a team down here, and I'm seeing players like Dan Sheehan, Anton DuPont, you know, your Sia Khaleesi's, Kurt Lawrence, Cheslin Colby, Artie Sevier, Richie Mwanga, you know, you're seeing your Will Skeltons, your Romain Intermax, Thomas Ramos, you're seeing half the Irish sides, you're seeing your Jack Morgans, your Finn Russells. I'll go watch. It would be interesting for me to see what the South African public would do if they brought that game down.
Well, if they brought it here, I think people would 100% go watch. I mean, it's something new, it's something exciting. Those big name players, people want to see them.
Yeah.
In South Africa, there's no question people would come watch.
And I think that'd be interesting to sort of see. And that's I think that's my shortcoming. I think that's where their shortcoming is at the moment, is that the way the franchise and stuff are supposed to be is just not rugby rich places.
Are these franchises like owned per country?
Well,
or
no, so it's supposed to be completely independent. So, for example, Red Bull is supposedly going to be owning one, which is very interesting because Red Bull have basically just sort of acquired Newcastle Falcons in what was formerly the Premiership, now has been renamed the Prem.
Oh, the Prem.
The Prem.
That's going to be confusing with the footy lads.
Well, exactly. Like, like Prem's back this weekend. That's football, not rugby. But anyway, but I mean, there was rumors about like Ferrari owning a side. I mean, you're going and talking
Ferrari,
dude. That's what I'm saying. They've got such a weird bunch of people involved, but I think it's going to be quite almost like Formula One style. I think it's kind of where
I suppose what they're calling it, the Grand Prix type tournament.
It is exactly. So it's instead of having, you know, the Joburg Lions, for example, I suppose it's franchises. So it's like your IPL, Chennai Super Kings, you know, whatever. You're now having a Joburg Super Kings. You're now going to have the Red Bull whatevers.
Or the Ferrari team that like hires a blind man as a team strategist or something.
Correct. Yeah, I know. They would definitely go with an 8-0 split bench and not even name enough forwards in the starting lineup. Anyway, so that's something really interesting. What I want to see is that what sort of companies are talking. You know, are we going to see? I mean, you think about the Formula One companies, and a lot of them are obviously individually owned and stuff like that. But your Mercedes and stuff like that. Rugby is an interesting one because you don't have like Red Bull it obviously makes sense. They're kind of multi-sport. They're not really they're an energy drink at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But a lot of the
their investments go far and wide.
Exactly. So a lot of the Formula One teams, for example, are obviously very car-based. Your Ferraris, your McLarens, your Aston Martins, your Mercedes, etc., etc. You don't exactly have rugby brands with billions of dollars out there. So I'm very interested to see the type of brands that we might see sort of going after this, because they're going to have to be big, like Fortune 500 company.
Yeah, I reckon. I mean, if you look at team sponsors, you might see Nike putting a team in there. You might see, I mean, even big name brands like Adidas, sporty brands. Yes.
Yeah, or we're going to see like an Amazon team, for example.
Oh yeah, look, you know? That's also something.
Your Amazons or your and I mean, and what will be interesting then what the sponsorship values are.
Netflix rugby club.
Well, you know what my biggest thing is? If I'm all for this tournament, if they have a good marketing team and they produce cool content. The URC, I'll give them a lot of credit. They're so much better than what we've seen before. The Rugby Championship Twitter account.
Oh, it's useless, man. It doesn't even look like an official account.
No, it's one word, the Rugby Championship. No spaces, by the way, in the name of it. It's not like you can do it on Twitter. They put out a video of Tom Wright versus Cheslin Colby 3 hours after the Bok team was announced without Cheslin Colby. That's the kind of standard that we're seeing being put out. It's just so lazy. And even, I mean, our local sides.
And this needs to be like level with Six Nations type of stuff, you know, and Six Nations is very well.
Yeah, but I want, like, you see some of the content you see. I mean, if you look at like NFL, for example, and the broadcasting and the stats and the graphics and the podcast and the different shows.
And as South Africans, how are we so aware of this? Like,
yo, this is the thing.
The marketing is so
exactly.
good,
I mean, I've never watched an NFL game, but I tell you, even now and again, you watch them, you're going, process.
Yeah.
The amount, and I mean, like Supersport, for example, is getting there, and you can see a lot more stuff coming in, but we haven't scratched the surface with the type of content that we should be creating. And I think that's where I think World Rugby are going to lose to R360, because they're going to come and sit there and say, we are going to properly professionalize this. We're going to properly monetize this. I mean, we've seen SA Rugby, one of the biggest brands in the world, have now had to restructure their things, and they're going to basically go from like having like 100 to 200 million rand a year in sponsorship revenue to potentially over R1 billion in sponsorship revenue.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I mean, look, the timing is good as well. If you look to England, I think Wasps have just like liquidated themselves.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've lost London Irish in the last few years. We've lost
the Western Force. No, was it Western Force or was it Rebels?
Rebels,
Australia.
Rebels. We lost Rebels.
Yeah, man. So around the world, we see that the commercial side of things is really eating into teams, and a tournament like this could bring it back. Yeah, perhaps you've changed my mind, Stevie. Like, it could be a...
You heard it here first, people. If you're watching and you're part of R360 and you require a podcast, a media partner, you slide into the DMs. I was twerking for Live Golf. They still haven't phoned me up yet. I'm hoping to go and find them next year when they come to Stain and say, just, you know how you gave like John Rahm 200 mil? I just need one. Just give him 199 mil. And I'll sort you guys out. So Mike Tyndall and the R360 team, I'm there. I'm ready. I'm cool. I'm not contracted. My Forever Sports contract's up for review. You know, I'll bring in an agent. I'll go get like Mina Raiola, and he'll organize me a good contract. And find me, and then you can go wherever you go, wherever we need me to go. I'll be part of the Burner Bar 4 if there's but yeah, I think what I like about it is, even if it doesn't get off the ground, I like the fact that there's been a scare. And it's a constant reminder that, you know, URC needs to be better, Super Rugby needs to be better, and World Rugby needs to be better. And they can't just rest in their laurels at the moment.
They just got a bit comfortable, you know, all of these tournaments, thinking that they're untouchable.
And it just breeds complacency. And that's, I think, the big problem is that we haven't seen enough innovation over the last few years to really grow the game properly and stuff like that. And there's still so much ring fencing, and, you know, compared to what you're seeing in other sports where you get all access and you get really cool documentaries, for example. Even like documentaries, Chasing the Sun is levels above. But I mean, All or Nothing All Blacks, when I watched that, I was like, why isn't there more of this? Whereas like football, for example, there's
one for Sunderland even.
Yeah, literally, there's Sunderland, obviously. I think there's one for Newcastle. There's one for Spurs. How many?
Even in cricket, the Australian cricket team had one done.
Yeah, the test.
That was super cool.
And it was phenomenal. And then they tried to go with full contact, and it just didn't really match up with what we kind of wanted. But there's such a big demand for proper rugby content, and we're just not getting it. And that's why I think, you know, your rugby leagues are thriving, and lots of other sports are thriving. And look, rugby union is still massive, and when it comes to World Cups, it's huge. But I think it's got such a long way to go to start matching the other big brands in the world. I mean, you look at your IPLs, the money involved.
Oh, yeah.
And the teams involved, and the analysis involved, for example. And, you know, we're still trying to catch up in rugby, and we've got to try and catch up a bit quicker. The next thing for me is a big contentious one at the moment. This is our official Try or Lie segment. Every week we're going to be finding something controversial. Whether it's a team announcement, a team selection, you know, any sort of a move, for example, maybe somebody moving unions or whatever. And basically we're going to be deciding, is it a try or is it a lie? This week's question is in the poll. Stormers have a new logo, Al.
That they do.
And what do you think?
I just know I'm going to get absolutely cooked in the chat for this one, but try.
You reckon?
Try.
You're going try?
I'm going try, and I'll tell you why.
Fair enough. Justify yourself.
The new logo, I think it looks quite fresh. for many reasons. It's the shape of the DHL stadium. It shows that they've let go of Newlands. As much as that breaks my heart, I miss that stadium. But the shape looks like the stadium. It also looks like storm clouds. These are the Stormers, a little bit of a hurricane cloud going. I think it's pretty cool. It's just neat. It works well. And I think people are just a bit sensationalist when it comes to change in rugby. I mean, I was an example of it right now. We're talking about the R360 and I'm complaining about how it makes a change. But inevitably, people get used to things that change. I mean, flip. Back in the day, I mean, how many changes have we had to deal with as rugby fans? People hated the fact that we were going from Super Rugby to URC.
Yep.
And now everybody loves the URC and wouldn't even imagine going back to Super Rugby. It's the New Zealanders and the Australians that want us back. And if we have to consider things like, brand identity and fan reactions, the fan reaction has been sour. I've been reading comments on social media. People are really not happy about it. But just look a little bit further than, right now. A year from now, you're not going to care about, what the badge looks like. As long as your team is playing good rugby, that's what matters. And, your brand identity is not going to be affected by the fact that your badge has changed. I mean, look at flipping 20 years ago, Woolworths changed their badge and they are still the most successful, brand in South Africa when it comes to high-end shopping. And people are going to say, who's this guy comparing shopping to rugby? But the point is, Stormers have made a change. It's not going to have a huge effect on the rugby that they play and the players that they have and the vision that they have as a team. So try, in conclusion.
So you're going to try.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go no. I'm going to go lie. I'm going to go lie. And
the rest of the country will agree with you.
Well, to be fair, the poll is quite split, actually. It's
Come on.
74 votes so far, 46%, 54%.
Okay,
so I won't tell you which way they're going. So if you're watching right now, go get your votes in right now and give me your thoughts as well. So Ganji, for example, was saying the Stormers logo is cuck with plenty of Ks, and I think there was supposed to be a couple of
that's what most people are
things.
saying, man. But
I think my problem is I was speaking about it yesterday when I did the video. I can understand the rebrand. I think the Stormers logo is a horizontal logo. It's very difficult to use from a design perspective. It is obviously very old.
26 years they've had that logo.
Correct. I mean, they updated the color, but the actual essence of the logo has not remained the same. These days, you kind of have to go to a more modern logo. And look, to be fair, I mean, somebody was so funny. Somebody in the comments was saying, we need to be more like the Premiership clubs who've got the old style sort of crest and they don't change. And I was like, take me back a year, and Northampton Saints changed their logo from a traditional badge to a much simpler one. And there was also outcry. But you've obviously got to try and move with the times, and you've got to try and update logos. I think my problem is, if you look at the logo, there's a lot to unpack when you really start looking at it. The fact that the inside of it is the symbol what you'd see on a weather map, for example, for a storm. And obviously within the S. I just don't think it's a particularly strong enough image that it's going to be recognizable or kind of be iconic type of thing in the way that you think of like the Springbok badge.
Give it time.
I just think I just don't think there's enough to it. I think it's just very plain and a bit generic.
Mm.
And I think that it looks clean on the jersey. It's being a monotone logo. One color always looks quite clean, and we're seeing a lot of monotone things even in football jerseys, for example. Teams are dropping their crests and going with just a simple like the Arsenal with the cannon, for example, and United do with the devil.
Yeah, and it looks those are super cool.
It does look very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of understanding it going that way. I think a lot of people sort of and this is a good time being brought in by Eshwin saying it's very similar to the Super Rugby Pacific logo. So I think there's a certain amount of value to that.
That's a good point, yeah.
But
I didn't think of that.
It's obviously not gone down particularly well because Deon Free had to come on Instagram last night and put out a statement basically saying,
I read that.
please relax. Like, it's not replacing our heritage. These things are...
It's a new chapter.
Yeah. So obviously, whenever you rebrand, you're always gonna have to try and.
I mean, there'll be backlash. I remember when the Crusaders changed their logo. I mean, of course, there were like politics behind that too.
Same as the Chiefs in the Prem, for example, and stuff like that.
Yeah, look, people always have backlash when there's a rebranding, but guys, just it'll be fine. The Stormers are not going anywhere. They're still the Stormers.
Well, I think a lot of people are saying, instead of doing a rebrand, can we do a re-team and a re-coach maybe, and maybe a bit of a refresh?
So is that the issue? They're still the Stormers.
Yeah, exactly. They said, this is all fine, but still the same team in the field. But to be fair, I think if I was a Stormers fan, I'd be very excited. They've made proper signings. You've got Ruana coming in, you've got Kubas Rana coming in, you've got Intukunu coming in, Volko Lowe's coming next season.
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, they're putting together a very good squad. So I don't think it's as look, as I said, from a Lions point of view, I can't look at the Stormers and go, oh, shame, they're going through a lot, because you don't actually understand what you're going through. I'm going through a lot. Stormers fans are not going through a lot. But I think I see your point. I think, and obviously we will get used to it. I mean, we've seen lots of rebrands. Even the Bulls, for example, they did a very minor rebrand. The Sharks also had their rebrand, made it a bit cleaner, for example.
Yeah, like they turned it into like the badge type of thing with the Durban underneath. That didn't really change much.
Yeah, a bit of a better Shark.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing here is that this is a complete rebrand. It's so different.
Yeah, I think that maybe it's probably
the shock
why.
factor.
Yeah, it is the shock factor. Yeah. It's not like you've removed you kept the S, for example, but removed the other stuff, and which maybe could have been an interesting idea, actually, almost sort of just simplifying the existing logo as a first step towards it. But they have gone with a shocking new rebrand.
No one expected it. They just dropped it. I don't know.
Well, the problem is they dropped a date and they said coming soon. Everybody went, oh, cool, jersey reveal. And then all of a sudden they went, bang, new logo. And I was like,
whoa.
Since when were
going on
Since when were we even talking about this? Like, did anybody know this was happening? What's also interesting is that in the video they had the badge blued out, and they also had the BLK blued out, which means obviously there must be a new kit deal coming in as well. So maybe some more investment coming into the Stormers, which they'll need and they'll want, and because you need to sort of fund these new players and stuff like that. Right. So as mentioned, we don't have a Mall of Shame this week, but I'm challenging all the viewers. We want to have a Mall of Shame next week. Now I'm trying to think.
They send in their clips and
send us an email or drop something in the comments of this video, for example. We'll maybe do a bit of a form or something, but at me on Twitter or DM and something like that, and try and send us your Mall of Shame moments. We'll try and monitor them as well, and maybe we'll put it to people to have different Mall of Shame moments, and then we'll maybe vote on it. But I mean, I think of Mall of Shame. I mean, have you ever watched that Gershwin Weir step?
Oh man.
Now, whoever missed the tackle, now that's a Mall of Shame moment. Have you seen that?
The sheep that's jumping over the oak. It was like that type. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
This oak was trying to catch a sheep, and it like stepped him and jumped over him. It looked exactly like that.
Well, there we go.
Man, but yeah.
There's a clip in the school game where a guy, sort of as he's passing it, he gets hit, and he does a full 360 before he goes down. He got hit so hard.
What?
Now that is a Mall of Shame moment.
Oh yeah.
So
I hope they gets picked up and driven back like 20 steps.
Yeah. When you get sat down and you're sitting there grasping for air, those are your Mall of Shame moments, and we need you guys to help us try and find them. Because maybe we'll even try and create a bit of a Mall of Shame.
And you don't think about it being international rugby or high level, like any type of rugby.
Give me club rugby. Give me go find those club gems, because there are club gems.
Oh, there's so many gems in club rugby.
I mean, I've probably had Mall of Shame moments in my very very coveted rugby career. You've definitely had a few handoffs here and a bit and missed tackle here and there. So look, and you know what? Be ballsy. Send yourself in.
Yeah.
Send yourself in as a Mall of Shame and say, I would like to submit myself to the Mall of Shame. Because those are the fun moments that we need to remember and kind of remind ourselves sometimes what rugby's all about.
Yeah.
And enjoying the moments. Oh, let's move to our final segment, which is our picks. Hopefully we'll have a very exciting announcement about what's kind of going to go into that for next week. Last week we predicted Province and
Griquas.
Yes.
Yeah. And you said that Province were going to do it. And I disagreed and said Griquas were going to win. I believe that Province ended up losing that game. So I think it's 1-0 Ali in the predictions.
Yeah, look, not ideal.
I think it was 45-17 or something.
Yeah,
and
not
I
ideal.
predicted Province to win by like not Province, Grick was to win by a bit less than that. But
yeah, well,
I'll take it.
Yeah, so look, the nice thing is that next week we'll hopefully actually have a bit of a system to kind of use.
But basically, we're going to try to sort of keep track of this. So in terms of score predictions so far, by the way, your final try and lie, as it stands now, I can't actually end the vote over here. 55% people saying they don't like the logo. But that does mean that 45% are saying they like the new logo.
You see, that 45% is correct.
And I think, to be fair, I think if I put that poll out yesterday, it would have been a lot higher. So even a day on, people have not slept on it, and they've realized that maybe it's not the end of the world.
They'll grow into it, man. Yeah.
But let's go into our picks for this weekend. We've got Box versus Australia and All Blacks versus Argentina. I think those are what we're going to sort of stand with. Let's start with the Box and Wallabies. Very difficult game to pick, I think, to be honest. Because the problem is also we haven't really seen the Box probably fire on all cylinders just yet this year. So, Al, where are you sitting with that?
This might be an optimistic one, but I'm going 33-19 in favor of the Box.
14 points.
Yeah.
Well, so still pretty substantial, but do you reckon Wallabies will score?
They will score, definitely. But I just think we're going to prove to be a bit too much of them. People are saying, and I'm part of those people that are saying, yes, Australia played very well against the British and Irish Lions. But the Springboks are not the British and Irish Lions. We're a different beast. And I think we're going to teach the Aussies a little bit of a lesson 2 days from now. But I'll give them some respect.
Look, I think Wallabies will score. I think the way we're playing kind of almost sort of opens us up a little bit. Jerry Fennery was saying he was very critical with the team about the defense. So maybe we might see a much better improved defense.
What you got?
I'm putting it with about 28 sort of.
Okay.
I'm hoping we put in a bigger defensive effort.
That's a bigger margin than what I predicted.
Yeah, look, I think Marnie's going to cook at the end of the day.
I mean, he will.
Chef Marnie has got it in for us, and he's
at least 2 no-look kicks that cross over for a try.
Correct. And then just quickly before I mentioned this earlier, before we do the New Zealand-Argentina prediction, people, I want to introduce you to this little lad. This is the new Forever Sports mascot, who is going to be going hopefully on tour to Cape Town next week, potentially. And if you watched any of our content during the Rugby World Cup, we had Rassie, the bear, and we took away everything, and we basically tried to do a similar type of concept. We've got now our little Bocky over here.
Has he got a name?
Probably be a bit more conservative. I'm going to go with a 35-20, but to the All Blacks. I think it'll be a high-scoring game.
Okay, look, the reason why I'm going so high is that Argentina didn't impress me in their recent run-outs against
missing
England.
Some big players as well.
Exactly. And this New Zealand team, you know how they always cook. I mean, when they go to Argentina, it's funny. The All Blacks always tend to lose against Argentina in New Zealand.
Yeah.
But I mean, history doesn't mean anything for this. I just think the All Blacks are going to prove far too strong. Beginning of the Rugby Championship, they're going to want to make a statement. Take the advantage of, I mean, look, with no disrespect to Argentina, they are most likely to be the weakest team in the competition this year. And I think All Blacks would want to...
Big call, that. Big call, that.
It's a big call, but Australia have improved a lot, and I think the All Blacks would want to get that points difference over the Boks immediately after game week 1.
Right, well, fair enough. I'm going to go a bit more cautiously. I think that the Argentina are very desperate and emulate that kind of performance they've seen in New Zealand at home. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a test of depth, to be honest. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Contaponi sort of sets the team up and kind of what they go with. So, yeah, I'd like to see a good showing. I mean, it's 11 o'clock at night, so I need to team up and kind of what they go with. So, yeah, I'd like to see a good showing. I mean, it's 11 o'clock at night, so I need to see it. And
you're saying I'm not a big name, man.
Your name is frighteningly long, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's that big. But yes, so it was, just slightly bigger than.
No, I kid. But no, Steve, it's always a pleasure to be here, man. And I think we do need to wrap things up because we've got some calls that are going here.
Correct. I've got Kudu Vorse I need to throw on that, and I need to get myself into some randies for the weekend. Smash like on the video, subscribe on the way out. Thank you very much for watching episode 2 of More Disorder, and we'll see you guys all next.
A couple of questions. I want to just ask you about the Rugby Championship in a second, but just some updates quickly. First, Scott, please, on both Bowden and Scott Barrett.
Both available. Barrett's ready
awesome
to go.
News.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Awesome news. All right.
Pleased.
Does this Rugby Championship feel different from others recently? I know you've only been charged for one other one. It feels like it's really important, that it's even more important and more valuable to win this year. Do you get that feeling?
my job is, I understand definitely, Murray, and the importance of it. I think what you're saying is everyone's feeling is how competitive it's going to be. You know, you've just got a Aussie team that played some great footy at the back end there of the Test series. You got the South Africans, we know how strong they are, and the Argentinians on their day, will, so creative. Got a lot of professional players coming through Europe that come back that are really, really well coached. So it's it's a hell of a competition, very, very tight, and just what we need.
One more question for me then. What's more important this year? And I mean, this is just a question we ask on this side of the microphone. Is it more important this year to win that rugby championship, or is it more important to beat the Springboks twice at home?
They're one and the same, aren't they? I think anyone that's looking at it to win the rugby championship, you got to beat them twice. Anyone's got to beat each other twice. That's probably the reality of it.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Cheers, buddy.
Andrew Seville.
Sev, we've got everyone. We've got the big dogs on.
Hello. Wouldn't go that far. You can hear me okay, obviously.
Yeah, got you clear. Thank you.
Have you settled on your team, and will that be the same team for Test 1 and 2 in Argentina?
Yep, settle on the team. We name it internally tomorrow morning. And look, what I've learned in the last 3 tests, you never guarantee that it's going to be the same team. So we play rugby, and it's a game of brutality, and it's a beautiful part of it. So look, guys have got to play well. It's a competitive squad, and we'll look to have some continuity, but also if people perform and we need to build some depth, there could be a couple of changes.
I know you mentioned the Barretts before. What about the other guys that are coming back from injuries? Is everyone available that you took?
Hello and welcome to Forever Sports. And we are ready for match number 2 in the Rugby Championship. No talk about the box, okay? We're done. We're over that. We've had the game. We've had the reaction. I probably should have changed my shirt, but we move. This is now the main feature here, people. Argentina versus New Zealand. And come on. Argentina need to cook for me. They need to cook for me. I'm ready for them to cook for me. I'm ready to watch a belter, an all-timer here. And a bit late because just sorting a few things out in the background, but we are very much close to kickoff. We're actually about to head straight into the anthems, and when we come back, we will have kickoff over there. Obviously got the haka as well to get through, so got a little bit of time to sort of get into it, and lots to sort of pick apart. Very interesting to sort of see what we're going to see in this game, because I think we're seeing an Argentinian side missing some big players. No, for example, Matias Carreras, for example, very, very good player. No, Jean-Marc Gonzalez coming off the bench, for example, not starting, I think is a bit of a blow in terms of the way they want to play. Thomas Gajo, for example, is a big player to miss out on. So a couple of big names not available. You've got scrum off. Gonzalo Bertino not available this evening. So a couple of players missing for Argentina, but some very good players. And I mean, the back row is already very, very good. And then you can bring in Jean-Marc Gonzalez off. So they've got players here that can cause New Zealand problems. I think it's all about how they start. I think that if they start strong, they can get into this All Black side. And I think this All Black side was not particularly convincing at times against France, which means that there'll be a bit of demons there, a little bit of confidence issues potentially, and the expectation that they're going to go out and do a job, which I don't think is going to be that easy. It's never easy going to Argentina. The Box lost there last year, for example, and Argentina have beaten this All Black side in the last few years, but they haven't done it at home. Weirdly enough, it's very, very strange to think that they've beaten the All Blacks away, haven't beaten them at home, and that's what they're going to be trying to do this evening. And especially because all the Kiwi fans are piling in on us after our loss earlier. It would be some poetic justice if they were to lose, and all of a sudden we can start piling back into them. But to answer your question, Ethan, asking if we think I'm going to win, if I think the Australians are going to beat the Box next week, I think the Box will bounce back. But obviously, you have to wait and see what kind of team we pick, for example, what the preparation's like, what the conditions are like. Lots going to happen before this time next week. Miranda Records Box will pummel the Wallabies. Cameron Case says All Blacks are not losing today. No chance in hell. In fairness, that's kind of what we said about Australia. And I think going in this weekend, I think there was probably more chance of an Argentina upset than a Box upset. But stranger things have happened, and here we stand with the Box at the bottom of the Rugby Championship log, and the Wallabies at the top, which I don't think too many people would have predicted a week ago, 4 hours ago, 4.5 hours ago. I mean, even like after that first half, I don't think people were going to really predict that. But it is what happened, which means, and the main thing again, so, Argentina are very much a side of passion. They get thrown around a lot, but they are. So when they get up and in a stadium, a home stadium, a packed out stadium, by the way, completely sold off on the looks of it. If they can get themselves up, if they can get themselves to the face of the New Zealanders, but also remain disciplined, then game on. Then game on. It's when they sometimes get too over-eager and almost too passionate and they start conceding penalties and the discipline slips. That's when I think things potentially sort of fall apart. And there's quite a rousing anthem being departed. Is anybody else got issues with their sound, by the way, of their stream of this game? Because mine is terrible, and it's not just like it's my DSTV thing, because a lot of the different channels are all okay, but this channel in particular is dirtful. So if you're on DSTV and you're all struggling with sound, please let me know. And because that was not ideal. It's not ideal. I want to be able to hear the referee and the likes of that. But we're going to move into the anthems. When we get back, we will have kickoff. Very excited to see what's going on here. And get your score predictions in, people. Get your score predictions in. Let me know what you think of the game down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video as well. Let's try to get those likes over 50 likes before kickoff, maybe close to 100 after kickoff. And let's enjoy the next game. But until then, let's go to the match anthems. And when we get back, we will have action.
salud. Y los libres del mundo responden al gran pueblo argentino, salud. Sean eternos los laureles que supimos conseguir, que supimos conseguir, coronados de gloria, vivamos. Oh, juremos con gloria a morir, oh, juremos con gloria a morir, oh, juremos con gloria a morir.
There we go. We just had two pretty rousing renditions of the national anthems, as well as a pretty big haka. Cody Taylor leading the haka, but a couple of smirks there from the Argentinian players. So hopefully a sign of a spirited performance to come. Let's have a look at the players to watch out for Argentina. In the front row, it is Michael Vivas, Julian Montoya, and Pedro Delgado. Backed up by Franco Molina and Pedro Rubiolo. Good player. Pablo Mateo, Marcus Kremer, and Joaquin Oviedo in that back row. Very solid back row. Gonzalo Garcia will partner that very, very impressive Thomas Albanese. Bautista Delga and Rodrigo Isgro in the two wings. And Thiago Chukwuemeka and Lucio Cinti in the midfield. Jean Cruz Malia in the back row as they get back underway. For the first time this year, that's a nice little step from Jean Cruz Malia. He sent Jordy Barrett for sausages in that first phase over there. So a solid start for the Argentinians. And ball available for Garcia. He's just going to look to go to the boot nice and early. And hopefully find a good clearance. Looking to keep that in touch. And after it is... I'll tell you what, that's brilliantly done. And one back by Arsenal locked on, says the referee. It was really well contested in the air by Rodrigo Isgro. I'm not sure if it came off of him or was the knock-in back towards Montoya, who might have knocked it on as he tried to gather. But a very good contest. Now we're going to see a good contest here in the front row for New Zealand. Ethan de Groot back in the mix. He's next to Cody Taylor. And Fletcher Newell gets a very rare start, really. You haven't seen Fletcher Newell start as much as probably he'd like to so far in his career. Backed up by Scott Barrett is also making his return. And the big Fabian Holland, who had a very solid thing. But interesting, pack weight over here for New Zealand, 893 kgs. Argentina, 940. Almost 50 kgs heavier is this Argentine pack. And, yeah, interesting to sort of see how this goes. But here we go. First opportunity. And feeding in the scrum is Cortez Ratama. Very good opportunity for him with Cameron Waygard currently injured. So, opportunity for him to sort of stake a bit of a claim for that jersey, try and make that jersey his own. Have a reset there. Marcus Kremer, whenever Argentina put in a big sort of historic performance, he's usually at the center of it. So a big game coming up for him. Solid scrum though from New Zealand, and ball is available. To the right-hand side goes Jordy Barrett. Oh, jeepers, a bit of an off-the-ball shot there coming on Bowden Barrett. Referee doesn't say anything about it. Cordes Ratsman has got the option on the far right-hand side. I'll fix these teams in a moment. We get a break of play there. Long pass out wide. See him in the space behind us, Jordy Barrett. And the ball does hold up. Throws it back into the field, does Thomas Albanese. And looking to run it from inside the 22. Now eventually go to the boot of Lucio Cinti. That's the right thing to do in that situation. Don't stuff around. Don't stuff around. You stuff around in the 22. But we might go back for a bit of a penalty. I wonder about that shot against Bowden Barrett with the referee. Yeah, you can see there. And that's what I talk about. I mean, that's just so stupid. Absolutely needless from whoever it was. and all of a sudden they conceded a penalty on the 10-meter line. They didn't need to do that. They did not need to do that. It was absolutely no need whatsoever for it. And now they can potentially take a shot at goal as Beauden Barrett, which I don't think they're going to do. And they are going to take a shot at goal. And Beauden Barrett converses. I mean, how's that for just an absolute waste? All to do what? To try and, like, you're not going to shake off Beauden Barrett with a late hit. I mean, come on. The guy's played over 100 tests. Yeah, so stupid. And it's Santiago Chukwuemeka. There's absolutely no reason to do that. That's the frustration. There's no reason to do that. So very frustrating that from Argentina. Now Beauden Barrett, an opportunity to get an early lead over here. What are your score predictions, people? Did anyone put some score predictions in? I'm seeing one from Cameron saying All Blacks 35, Argentina 15. Edward Will said, win this Argentina. Don't like you guys, but I'd rather see you guys play against Boca than All Blacks. And Beauden Barrett puts his head down and he will split the polls. Absolutely pointless 3 points gifted to them by Chukwuemeka. Needs to do a lot better than that. And there we go. So the team's starting to look a bit better. Try and just sort the lining up over there. There we go. There we go. Starting to look a bit better. Now to the right-hand side, go Argentina from the kickoff. Well taken from Scott Barrett, the All Black captain, back in the side after missing that French series due to injury. Cordes Ratsma taking his time. And veteran Newell carries it well. Important for Argentina to put a bit of pressure here on the All Blacks. Try and force a sloppy kick, but Cordes Ratsma goes to the boot there. Finds touch, and not bad, not terrible. I think Argentina would generally be quite happy with that. So Julian Montoya, the average heights in the both sides are both 1.94. But it's a very good and well taken from Paulo Matera. Oh, good hands. Albanos goes himself. They read it very well, though, to the All Blacks. And penalty advantage for them. Garcia puts a bit of space, puts the ball in behind. And lots of players are arriving. Ball goes back, but they'll go back for the penalty. Good work there from Argentina. First real opportunity of the back of set piece. And it's a goodie. Well worked. Nice, quick pace as well. Argentina do, especially under Contaponi. They like to up the pace. They like to up the ante. And it'll be interesting to see what the decision is here from them. Will they potentially go for the corner? They're going to go for poles as well. Try and level the scores here early on. I think it's quite important. Get yourself on the board. Mark says, Pumas trying to disrupt All Black flow, but Pumas need time of possession to have a chance. Gaston says, my greetings, my people. Argentina presents I love rugby. Edward World, who else is saying? Hostel Mike, the Islander, says the Wallaby win really puts an added edge to this game. Can't wait to see if we can dominate up front or not. Exciting match to come. Wahoo! Yeah, I think that's the big thing, isn't it? You know, who's going to have that front foot ball, front foot possession? Who's going to have the dominance? And it's off the upright. But I tell you what, it almost bounced back to the Argentinians' hands. Eventually comes away. I think it looks like Tupo Vai's got it. That could have worked out brilliantly for Argentina, but not the best kick of Thomas Albanor's career. Now, that kick does not find touch. An opportunity for Argentina to try and counter-attack. Here comes Malia. Oh, jeepers, he's been lined up and knocked down. Garcia under a bit of pressure, uses it nice and quickly. Nice carry there from the Argentine captain. Now, Albanor's. Whoop, bit of a fumble there. And has to hold on. Does Oviedo. Does so well, but it's a big counter coming from New Zealand, and the ball is available. Penalty comes for them. That wasn't good enough, to be honest, from Argentina. You need to try and secure possession. And taking it quickly by Cortes Ratsma, referee says, nope, not on the mark, bring it back. But that in itself was quite a big moment to see that he wants to take it quickly. He wants to get this game going. They want to play at a high speed here to the All Blacks, try and really take on Argentina and try and rush them. And Cody Taylor says going to the corner, but the referee says, no, you still have to be behind the kicker. So Beauden Barrett will kick this towards the corner and try to have an attacking line out in the 22, which he has done. No, he has not. Yes, he has. Thomas Albanor was almost doing very well to keep that in. The referee says, no, not happening. So it's on the 5-meter line. That's a brilliant kick from Beauden Barrett. That's put them in such a good position now. So ominous early signs here for Argentina. All Blacks have started well, putting a lot of pressure on them. Right, Fabian Holland, as expected, looking into the rolling Moya, Cody Taylor, throwing things at the back. So far, not getting, once is the call from the referee, not really getting much. They're going to have to use this, I think. Cody Taylor's probably going to break it. Breaks himself. Good more defense that from Argentina. They now will fall back in line, but also a bit of a stick and go. Ball available for Cortes Ratsman. He goes to Fletcher Newell. Fletcher Newell back on the outside. Fletcher Newell has got over. Has he got grounding? No. Back there, go to Fabian Holland. Good defenses from Argentina. A couple of players over the ball. Ball comes loose. Jordy Barrett. Long ball over the top. And it's been reeled in by Sever Reese. Oh, it has to be Sever Reese. I mean, really, of all people to score. And all the Blacks are into the corner, and they're off to a quick start. This is a very Springbok-esque start in they're scoring a point per minute so far. It's amazing how the things can turn. You had Argentina hitting the crossbar, and within a few minutes later, New Zealand going over the whitewash 8-0. Yeah, Sever Reese into the corner. Not my favorite rugby player for obvious reasons, but anyway. So, 8-0, potentially 10-0 over here. Argentina need to get the ball in hand here. And Bowden Barrett in the cot. Tell you what, off the post and in from Bowden Barrett. So 10-0, the perfect start here from Argentina. But what we do know, especially after watching today, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Because the Springboks had Australia all wrapped up after 20 minutes and then blew a 22-point lead to be dominated. 36 points, 22. So early days here from Argentina, and deep restart there into the hands of, looks like it was Rico Awani who was underneath it. It was indeed. Back on the wing, Rico Awani. I think it's the right move. I've always thought he's wasted at the outside centre. He's a much better winger than he is outside centre. And Cortes Ratsma goes to the boot. Is looking for touch. Does find it. So Argentina opportunity at set piece. Right, Julian Montoya up on the 5-meter line and asking for a gap. There is the referee. Going to the front of the line out. Ball pops up there. Montoya to Garcia. Pops it short. Chukabaras puts his head down. Nice carry from him. Good carry. Pick up and go from Garcia. Montoya almost for locking it on, but keeping it. And Garcia under a lot of pressure. Backwards is the call from the referee. Turnover ball here from the All Blacks. On the edge of that offside line. I think Garcia will be asking that about the referee. But turnover ball here. Ball available. Bowden Barrett has a bit of space on the right-hand side. And he's turned. Bautista Delgado, who's scrambled well. Now he's going to kick and chase himself. This needs to stay in. See what this could actually... Oh, he's done brilliantly there. There's no All Black player really converging. And he's won it himself. Now Garcia's going. Good hands from Argentina. Good place to play this as well. Garcia, not the best pass to Albanese. Fires it back. Couple of runners in behind. Gets a Welsh one as Lucio Cinti. Good player, Lucio Cinti. Garcia, quick ball once again. Hands, good hands. Referee Lawson looked like he was actually asking for an advantage. No, I think he's just putting where the offside line is. Much better this from Argentina. Going through some phases. And Garcia looking to really up the ante. And then says there's a knock on at the breakdown. Too quick from Gonzalo Garcia. But an interesting blueprint as to what we might see from Argentina. Just really trying to up the pace of play here. A couple of nice players standing quite deep. New Zealand defenders having to make the right decisions. Now, come on. Where's the penalty? Where's the consistency? Cody Taylor's just had a late shot in Albanese. And you got to go back for that penalty. You have to go back for that penalty. And you can see the Argentinian TV directors are showing that. And they're not going to go back there. Well, great. A little bit of inconsistency already. Good to see. That's so poor from the referee. Literally, the reason that New Zealand were 3-0 up was for a late shot on Bowden Barrett. The exact same thing is just happens to Thomas Albanese and nothing has come from it. The All Blacks Blake on the right-hand side. Long pass out wide. Xavier Reese now chip over the top. Very well done by Batista Delgado though, under a lot of pressure there. Ref, I don't understand how they're allowed to come through that, New Zealand, and their hands in as well. About to say, eventually the penalty comes. I was about to say, come on, surely not. Surely not. Keegan saying in the chat, Argentina will win this match. New Zealand focuses on loss of box. Well, they have been in my DMs. I've been getting grilled lately over that loss. Campos says All Blacks going to win all their games in the championship. Box might win 2 in total. I think it's a bold call, to be honest, given the fact that we've got Argentina in Durban, we've got Argentina in Twickenham, where we don't lose a lot of games. Twickenham, so I think we'll win more than 2. Garcia, chip over the top there from Thomas Albanose, a couple of chases, and Chocobarro is there, and he runs it brilliantly. Winning the aerial battle here are Argentina. A couple of very intelligent kicks over the top. Ball available for Garcia. Pick up and go. Sees a bit of a gap. Quickly closed. Once again, pick up and go. Yeah, come on, Oviedo this time. Montoya now picks up and goes. Good tempo this from Argentina. They're 5 meters out. Pick up and go once again. Asking questions of this All Blacks defense. Slow ball. Very slow ball. But now that's a much better carry though this time. Pick up and go once again. It's the big man. Pedro Delgado. Ball available. Marcus Kremer looking and surveying his options. Goes to the left-hand side. Penalty advantage for Argentina. Exactly what they want. Go to the left-hand side. There's so much space to the left. Guys. I mean, Thomas Albanose is pleading for the ball. There's 2 All Blacks players on the left-hand side. John Kuzmalia goes to the left-hand side, goes to Thomas Albanose. Albanose goes himself. Pops it up to Chocobarres. Ball over the top. And running onto it. And into the corner goes Rodrigo Isgro. Argentina hit back. Much better. Much better. And promising. Really good work. And it's just relentless from Argentina. And that's what's so good. Similar to kind of what we saw the box in the first half. Just the pick up and goes. Just continuously asking pressure, continuously basically overloading that All Black defense, sucking them in. And there was so much space out wide to the left. They then try to go to the left, kind of stuffed it up. Old Thomas Albanose does well, goes himself, creates that ball over the top from Chocobarres and into the hands of Rodrigo Isgro, who's not going to miss out from that sort of distance. And the kick is good from Thomas Albanose. So, 10 points to 7. Argentina respond. I'd love to see him kind of trade blows over here and really build up a very close game. That's what I'm in for. It's late at night over here. It's 11:30. We're approaching midnight. We're burning the literal midnight oil over here. So, therefore, we need to see good rugby because that makes it worth it. Right, Marcus Kremer underneath it. Marcus Kremer does not manage to achieve it. Fabian Holland comes away with it. Ball available for Cortez Ratimer. Argentina can't miss moments like that. Now, Will Jordan has a go. Looking to have a genuine decent spell at fullback. He had an opportunity during the... you can see the frustration there. Quickly taken though. Penalty advantage once again for New Zealand. They can take the 3 points. So angry with himself there was Marco Vivas for conceding that penalty. And number 1, he's going to get a yellow... Yellow card's harsh. He knows it, though. I think that's harsh. I think that's very, very harsh. To say that that's cynical, considering where they are. And once again, we are talking about Argentina discipline. It continues to haunt them. It really does continue to haunt them. They just cannot concede stupid penalties and yellow cards like that and continue to compete. Still don't know if it's warrants a yellow card. But anyway, down to 14 men now. Argentina and New Zealand back on the front foot. It's almost 18 minutes played. To the back they go to Artie Sevier. Round the top goes Curry Taylor. Now, Cordes Rattimer into the midfield. Well read, though. Very well read. Ball comes loose. Rattimer picks it up. Burton Barrett takes the contact. Good work. Good scrambling this from Argentina. Ball available for Rattimer. Fletcher Neal pops. Oh, that's a brilliant read. Goodness me. You will not see a better read than what we just saw coming from Pablo Matera. Was running on the angle. He read the read and he smashed him in behind the defense, actually. He basically called it. He called the pop-up. He ran and he smashed the ball carrier. I'm not sure who it was. Forcing the knock-on. But that's a phenomenal read from Pablo Matera. Now, it'll be interesting to see. They're going to bring on Nahul Teta Chaparro because they need a front rower. But Fletcher Newell, and I think it was Artie, it was Tupo Vai on the thing, and Pablo Matera just gets up and hammers him as he takes it. It's not Sofia, I think it's Tupo Vai. I'll take it all back. It is, in fact, Billy Proctor who knocks it on. But Pablo Matera just reads it like a book. Let's see what come in the comments saying. Food Dog says, no point bringing a chainsaw to a gunfight. McNeil reckons that'll be their last try. And he says, I'm here from Johannesburg. I'm going to watch with you the whole night. Are you going to stream the fight? Probably not at this stage, to be honest. We'll see how we feel a bit later. It has been a very, very long day. So not sure I'm going to make it up. I'll make it up for the fight, but to be able to make it up to put the figurative makeup on and be in front of the camera at 6 in the morning, which is in, 6.5 hours time. TBC. We might do it. We might do it. We'll see. Pretty solid scrum there. Now comes a bit of a shove from Argentina. Kind of shove from the All Blacks, and they do use it. Garcia fakes down the right, goes to the left, and Albanose now goes to that left boot and will look for touch. It's a pretty good touch finder as well. Thomas Albanose last year, I don't know where it came from. But he just overnight became like one of the best 10s in the world. He was so good in the Rugby Championship. Look, having a legendary player like a Felipe Contepone as your coach is always going to favour the good 10s, but goodness me, he just turned it on. Now, Sevi Reese involved, and Sevi Reese almost makes the half break. All Blacks on the halfway line now. Argentina still down to 40 men. 7 minutes more to go. That ball needs to stop from Merton Barrett. Still going. And they'll just tap that down to Argentina. Thomas Albanose waiting all the way for an Argentina player, a All Black player to come to it. And eventually pops it down as Thomas Albanose. He's not very happy with the fact that Fabian Holland decided to run into him. Couple of shoulder to shoulder there. Santiago guys are getting involved, but Argentina just going to run the clock down, really. 7 minutes to go on that yellow card. Now deep in that to Will Jordan. Will Jordan has got Artie Savia next to him, and he's going to run in, and good tackle there coming from Rodrigo. Is good, a try scorer. Bit of space wide for Jordy Barrett, though. And Rico Wani's left it behind, left it backwards. A great tackle there from Choco Barros. And he's over the ball there. He's actually left the ball behind. Big counter coming from Argentina, and they have one of the... and then crawling. Oh, Mr. F. Allow them. I think it was a pretty good counter-back, and I think the biggest part of it actually was Trucabados in that fantastic tackle, then basically stood up and went past. The racker didn't grab the ball on the way there. So Pierre Becerra then penalised them for it's such a good tackle. As Bowden Barrett goes down, Trucabados dives, makes a brilliant tackle, gets up, tries to get over the ball. Matosha does not agree with the call whatsoever, which I think is more or less fair, actually, to be honest. Anyway, so Tubo Var goes to Jordy Barrett. Ball back around. Good wrap around this. Space for Will Jordan. Kicks it in behind. Thomas Albanose collects it. Thomas Albanose does very well to get away from Sevi Reese. Goes to the boot to Albanose. And that doesn't find touch. Bit of an awkward bounce. Savia's come back, as Geordie Barrett. Good tackle that coming on Geordie Barrett, though. Argentina up for this. They're up for this. The All Blacks are looking good, though. Ethan de Groot. All Blacks fans will be looking, will be very chuffed that he's back in the mix. Ball backwards, says the ref. Quick defense, though, from Argentina. They're right on the edge here. And they've won the ball back. That's such a good turnover at the breakdown as well. Ball up. And it goes into contact as Pedro Ubiolo. What a player he has become for Argentina. Gonzalo Garcia. Albanors. Ball over the top. And kicked ahead by Isgro. And then backwards from New Zealand. And whose line is this going to be, Morne Ferreira? This is the question. Tiger XI says, I think this represents New Zealand off the hook a bit too much. Frudol Strucky says, Block Nation TV. So you want to be able to take on the weakest team then? And what taking Argentina? Well, Argentina right now are not looking like the weakest team. And Ryan Tech says 92.7 for the box at the top. Yeah, so we are down to, well, as things stand, it'll be third if New Zealand hold on and win. If New Zealand lose, then I think we actually go second. I think we go second because I think New Zealand will drop down as well. And Ireland will actually go to the top of the rankings, which will not please a lot of South African fans. Look at that. I mean, what a stadium this is. I think it's a capacity of about 55, 60,000, I think. Absolutely packed. Athletic stadium, so you kind of sit a bit further away from the field than what you'd ideally like to. Not like, for example, there's parking lot. So Zane says, at what time is the game done? We should be finishing around 1 a.m. Just before, about 1:45. We apologize. Poor audio quality as coming from the venue. I thought, as I said, I've been having no comms and the whole thing the entire evening, and I was wondering if it was just me, and nobody really told me in the comments whether it was just me, but it's not just me. So good to see. Go Argentina, says Nadine Combrink. Yeah, the South Africans, we rally behind our Argentinian, but we are so we just resonate, I think, with Argentina. We love Bryce. We love Brian, and it's a good place to start, in a relationship. As talking about Brian, I want to carry that as from Artie Savia. To the right hand side. Broden Barrett, long pass out wide, a bit of space here for Will Jordan. Cuts back inside, Will Jordan. Still going to Will Jordan, so dangerous. I think it's ball back inside of Cortez Ratimer, and they're going to coast to coast here, are the All Blacks. Under the pulse of Cortez Ratimer. So poor, to be honest, from Argentina after they have been so good. Far too easy, but it's also the overlap. That's the one-man advantage that we were talking about earlier. And you can just see that they go out wide quickly, and Will Jordan steps back inside far too easily. Missed tackle, 2-on-1 situation. Cortez Ratimer runs a very good support line. He's got a lot of tries to his name. Cortez Ratimer, someone who's only been playing for about a year odd. And no issues from Bowden Barrett right in front. And welcome Julie Purvis to the Forever Sports Members Club, becoming a Forever fan, our first member of the stream. We got over 10 in the last stream. We're very cool to get another 10 here as our community grows. So welcome. If you guys have considered supporting the channel, please do consider joining the Members Club. It is the pinned comment over there, and your support means a lot for us. It enables us to do a lot of different things, such as bringing you this coverage and travel around the country, bringing you unparalleled BOK coverage. Right, 17 points to 7. The 10-point gap is restored by the All Blacks. Just over 2 minutes left on that yellow card. Needs to try and get through that period, really, probably without conceding again. If you could try and find a penalty, a 3-pointer, that would be ideal. Get back to 15 on 15, though, as Argentina. That is their big goal. Ball over the top for Bowden Barrett. A bit too deep, though. Good chase, though, coming from the All Blacks. And the ball is available for Garcia. Slow ball, though. Montoya, such a workhorse. Garcia now. Goes short to Oviedo. Good carry from him. But a penalty for the All Blacks. I'd love to go look at the penalty count here. Now we're diving over, says the referee, off their feet. Five penalties conceded from Argentina, 2 from the All Blacks. but it wasn't taken off the mark from Geordie Barrett, so we're going to have to come back, and Bowden Barrett this time will take it. As Ethan says, I'm 15 years old and under 16 division for great college. Can I send you an embarrassing clip? Well, we've got the Mall of Shame in the coming up this week, Thursday. So if you're giving us permission to potentially use it, then by all means, you can TM us on any of our socials. Nadine says, come on, Argentina. Let's go, Argentina. Beat New Zealand so our Springboks can handle you next. Right, short goes Ratama. Left it behind there to Jordi Barrett. And Shukabatis dives on it. Turnover ball here for Argentina. Quick ball here from Garcia. Swings it to the left to Albanors, who then puts it down to the ground, but nice and low, sending Will Jordan all the way back. And that ball's going to work out beautifully. Will Jordan from deep inside 22 looks for touch. Finds it on the bounce. Keeps it in, does Thomas Albanors. And regathers. Right, options. Kicks it ahead himself. He's well weighted that as well. Jordi Barrett comes off Jordi Barrett. Forward of Jordi Barrett to the referee. Dives on it. So turnover ball. Argentina have got on the 10-meter line. Marcus Kremer now. Nice solid carry from him. There's still advantage for Argentina, and they're going back for the knock-on advantage, or they're going back for a penalty. They might actually be. No, just the knock-on, just the scrub for Argentina in a good position, and they can bring the yellow card back on. So that's the main thing here. So big scrum. They actually can find a platform here. They're very good off set piece. Argentina. I mean, you got Albanors there. You just can cook up something, hopefully. Luwaden Belito says, so who do you think will win this game? Says, I'm an All Black and I know it will be us. Well, I mean, my heart says Argentina. My head says the All Blacks. But let's see. Argentina score next. Anything could happen. Nadine saying, thank you for reading my comment. You have the best channel. Well, thank you, Nadine. Anytime. Thank you for joining me this late. No, that's a terrible... Mr. Rep, you can't... No. Literally... Tackle without the ball. Rico Awani is asking, and the referee was still about to penalize Argentina for being tackled without the ball. And it was a dumb tackle as well. He's just so quick to try and point at New Zealand side. He then actually had to check himself, remind himself it was an Argentina penalty, and raise his hand at that side. Yeah, Rico Awani not impressed with that decision at all. Taking the points here, Argentina, and Thomas Albanor was feeling a bit more confident after that corner conversion. This is bang in front, so this should be good. Make it a 7-point game. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing when Argentina do have the ball here. That was a bit of a mistake from them, but they are looking a bit more promising. They need to stay with the game. Stay with the All Blacks. Take it nice and deep. Yeah, but at least to straighten. It will straighten. Good kick there from Thomas Albanors. Right, so Argentina respond. Staying in the game here. 10 points to 17 after almost half an hour. That's thunder. Are we back, eh? Is spring in here? Are we going to have some rain in Joburg this week? That'll be exciting. Get some of the fields nice and green. You can probably hear a bit of the echoing. Good take of the kickoff there from Jean Cruz Malia. It was a good contest from Jordi Barrett. Now to the left-hand side. Big hit there on Pablo Matera, but he rides it well. They've lost the safety of the 22, though, from the kickoff. So at the moment, Gonzalo Garcia shaping up to kick, but it will be a contestable. He's actually pushed by... I'm not sure you can do that, but the referee allows it. Yeah, thank you. The touch judge is getting involved here. There's a clear push off the ball. So now a couple of the All Blacks shady moves being picked up and penalised. A penalty for Argentina. 10 minutes left in the half. Ethan saying it's currently thundering and raining by Amir in Rudaport. Well, there we go. There we go. So we are going to get some rain up here in Joburg. We're so overdue some rain. You can just see Tupo Vai there pushing Gonzalo Garcia. Referee didn't have his eyes on the incident, so that's good to know where he's watching. Right, Montoya needs to have a good line. Pablo Matera at the front. Looking for the rolling Moyo, Argentina on the 10-meter line. Convert try would level the scores. Then they push right towards the left-hand touchline. You need to try to stay in here. And somehow, Artie Soviet's come away with the ball. It's bizarre. I'm not sure how that happened. Quick boy from Cortez Ratima. Bowden Barrett, long pass out to Geordie Barrett. Now Argentina need to try and scramble. That's forward. Clearly forward. Clearly forward. Am I the only one that saw that? Nothing says the referee. Maybe it was the angle of the camera, but that looked very forward to me. And there it is. The touch judge gets involved. As Johan was asking, I mean, clearly forward. My man, Pierre, I'm not a ref basher by any means, but are you watching this game? How much more clear forward do you want to get? I think the TMO actually had to get involved there. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Marcus Kremer down. He looks like he's in a lot of pain as Marcus Kremer. I think that'll be the end of his game. I mean, he's down and like hitting the grass. He's in so much pain. So you can see the disappointment from him. I think he's done. That's a big blow. As I said, whenever you look at, for example, the... oh, no. It's his ankle. Oh, it gets caught underneath there. Yeah, he's not happy. Yeah, no, he's done. He's done. That looks really serious for Marcus Kremer. That's a huge, huge loss. However, in terms of being able to bring on somebody who's a proper player, being able to bring on Jean-Martin Gonzalez, you bring on one of the best in the world. But Marcus Kremer, that's not a good look. And what I was about to say is, if you go look at those games where Argentina did beat New Zealand, in New Zealand, for example, Marcus Kremer was always a big, big part of that, usually topping the tackle charts in those sort of games. But there comes the man. One of my favorite players, Jean-Martin Gonzalez. Such a good talent. Still so young and just plays at such a consistently high level all the time. Just 24 years of age. I think he's played about 30-odd games for Argentina already. Plays rugby for the Saracens. Well, they're strapping up Marcus Kremer, so maybe not as bad as initially feared. 40 games for Argentina. He's played 40 games for Argentina. He's 24 years old. Imagine. I mean, he could be a Centurion. I mean, he made his debut back in 2021. So that's 40 games in 3 years. So another 3 years takes him to 80. It would be 27. He could, if he stays fit, he could have his 100th appearance for Argentina by the time he's about 28, 9 years old. Which, considering Augustin Creevy was the first ever player to get to 100 caps for Argentina, and it took him about 16 years, is pretty impressive. But he's such a consistent performer, Jean-Martin Gonzalez. Julio Montoya asking him, well, Marcus Kremer's back to his feet, and he reckons he's good to continue. So obviously wasn't as bad as initially feared. Weird, considering how much pain he seemed to be in. But anyway, we're going to go back for the scrum on the 10-meter line. We've got 7.5 minutes left of the half. Right, let's see how Argentina sets up. There's New Zealand very cautiously watch on Gonzalo Garcia. Seems to be giving the eyes to Thomas Albanose. Free kick, though, for Argentina. Oviedo takes it quickly. Puts his head down. Big carry from Oviedo. And then so silly. Absolutely no need for that whatsoever. Penalty conceded by Pablo Matera for cleaning the man beyond the ruck. It's a pretty clear call. That's so silly from Pablo. And this is what we talk about. The discipline from Argentina is never good enough. There's absolutely no reason to do that. And he just conceded that penalty. Jeepers, I tell you what, I don't know, the guy on the side there, I don't know if he's running water or what the story is, but it's gone straight through his arms. There's a terrible attempt to take. Timmy line now for the All Blacks, and back they go, and up goes Tupavai, and down comes Tupavai with the ball, looking for their only maul now are the All Blacks. But they break to the left-hand side, the Cody Taylor, Cordes Rattimer, the ball gets left behind, and onto it goes Delgado, the big man, and then knocked on in contact, says the referee. Argentina. It's like everything that they do well, they have to compound with doing something badly. They can't possibly do like 3 or 4 things well in a row. Montoya asking for a bit of a gap and stuff when it comes to the scrum. Look, I don't know how much experience that Gino Montoya up against Cody Taylor. Well over 160, 170 caps between those two players. Well, just over 6 minutes left on the just over 5 minutes really left on the clock. Big scrum that from the All Blacks. Ball goes down. Penalty advantage comes. Free roll of the dice here. Artie Savia goes to Cortes Rattimer. Long pass out to Jordy Barrett. Good read there on Billy Proctor. Oh, and now Jordy Barrett's down and clutching his ankle. And he's not overly happy. This would also be a big blow. He was probably their best player in that France incoming series for the All Blacks. So, wouldn't be good news if he was to have to go off. Bowden Barrett looking to find touch. It's a great touch finder. It really is. Into 22 they go, and they score here, and it starts to become much more difficult for Argentina. Argentina needs to ideally score next. And it looks like it goes down on the loose head side here for Argentina. Right, they're about 10, 15 meters out. About 10 meters out, I'd say. Maybe a bit more, maybe 12, maybe 12 and a half. The ball comes down from Holland. And looking pretty good. And there comes the penalty advantage for collapsing the maul. So free roll of the dice. Artie Savia is back there. It was almost the signature Artie Savia dummy. But gets tackled before he can sell it. Jordy Barrett kicking in behind. And it's available there for Argentina. And they'll go back for the penalty. Just holding on at the moment of Argentina. Got to try and hold out the storm for another 4 minutes here. Lucio Cinti on screen, also a talented player, youngster. It's a very young Argentinian side in general. And that's what's so exciting about them, is I think come the next World Cup, you know, there's some really, really strong players here who are going to be at very good ages. You've got, Oviedo's about 24 years old. You've got Jean Martin Gonzalez, 24 years old. Lucio Cinti, I think he's even younger than that. So you've got so much young players who are playing. Even Thomas Albanor is about 27. So we'll be starting to play his best rugby. Lucio Cinti's 25, is actually a year older. Also plays rugby for Saracen, but it's a good running more here from the All Blacks. Are they going all the way? They do go all the way. Problems now for Argentina. That maul was looking good. As soon as they came down, it was well set. And it's an important time to score just before half time. And Artie Savia, jeepers, he just doesn't stop scoring, does he? Such a consistent performer as Artie Savia. I watched a very cool video about it the other day. And basically, he wants to do some training in the early hours. And he said it's not fair to expect his teammates to get up and come to his personal sessions. He said he had a couple of skill sessions he wanted to work on. And as a result, he basically put it out to some of the general public. And there were basically a whole bunch of club players who came in and trained with them and did a bit of wrestling, for example, on the ball and the likes of that. So, such a humble person, Artie Savia. Had the pleasure of asking him a couple of questions at a press conference, and such a cool guy. We were asking about the physicality back in the World Cup. His eyes just lit up, and you could just see how much he just loves the game. The whole Moana Pacifica now playing there. It's just so cool. It's a good kick there from Bowden Barrett. So 10 points to 24 now for Argentina. Long way to go. Josh Penn says, boom, the inevitable end of half try. Bravo, All Blacks. Eddie says, my mom says you have beautiful eyes. Well, thank you. They're looking a bit red at the moment, given the fact that we've been going for hours and hours. But I appreciate the sentiment. They'll look better tomorrow morning, hopefully, after a bit of shut-eye. And depending on how the Drickers fight goes and how early you have to wake up for that. Scott Barrett. What Argentina needs here is turnover ball on a penalty, even if they take the 3 points, just to get themselves on the board before half time. That would be ideal. Tupou Vai, you go in at 24 points to 10 down, you can still come back to it, but there's mountains to climb now. You go in 24-13 down, you go in at 24-17 down, and you're really back in it. Cortez Rattimer now will eventually go to the boot. Does fine touch, but only just past 22. Even he's not particularly happy with that. So, yeah, opportunity for Argentina right towards the end of the half. 39 minutes, 1 minute left on the clock, and what can they conjure up? What can they conjure up? Ball over the top, and it's Messi. It's a Messi, and it's thrown back by Tupou Vai. Cortez Rattimer gets it away to Bowden Barrett. He runs out a bit of trouble, then goes to the left boot. So much composure that from Bowden Barrett. Ball goes inside. Lifted up by Jean-Martin Gonzalez, and Isco will give chase. Oh, he's gone up and he's hammered into the All Blacks player. Ball's come backwards off. No, in fact, knock-on, says the referee from Argentina, so knock-on advantage for the All Blacks. Cortez Rattimer, 20 seconds to go. Throw it back to Bowden Barrett. Bowden Barrett looks at the options. Then goes to the boot, just looking for touch. Probably the right decision, up towards the halfway line. So, last opportunity for Argentina. 10 seconds left of the half. And then we're going back for a scrum, says referee Pierre. Right, so the clock has turned red. It's an All Black scrum. I don't think they'll try to run this. I think this will just be get the ball to the back of the scrum and pop it out and go into halftime and have some oranges. I think that'll be the chat. Unless they get a penalty and they might actually have a go. Here comes the penalty advantage. Cortez Rattimer. Also, it's compulsory for all the All Blacks to wear the same boots. If you guys noticed that. They used to have to wear all black. So every reason now with a bit of space. They've still got a penalty advantage to the All Blacks. Pops it up to Geordie Barrett. Ball back inside to Bowden. Bowden shows and goes. And they'll go back for the penalty. And time is done. Referee's turning around here. Not sure what he's on about. So Scott Barrett saying there's an offside there. So he's got two different penalties. Scott Barrett wants this one. And I think he's going to ask Geordie Barrett to have a go at poles. Would be a pretty big kick. No, Geordie Barrett's going to go to the corner. Got a big boot as Geordie Barrett. Has he got enough on that though? Yeah, he has. He's not left that short by any means. He's put that well into the into touch. It would be into the stands if it was a smaller stadium. So if Argentina concede now, then it's troubles. If they can actually get out of this, then I think they might go into with a bit of confidence maybe if they could steal line, which they didn't do. But let's see if they can defend this more. Not off to a good start. There's a lot of yellow boots being piled in there for the All Blacks. A couple of people trying to come straight through. Ball's available for Cortez Rattimer. Goes to Geordie Barrett. They go short to Billy Proctor. Hasn't been very involved so far. Gonzalo Garcia trying to get at his... Oh, Cortez Rattimer makes a half break. All flows to Duplessis Karifi. On the front foot, Charlie, All Blacks. They score here, and that will basically be 1 foot into the next game with a win on the board. Can't concede here if you're an Argentinian fan. Cannot. To the right-hand side, Severis goes over. You can't let him score from that sort of distance. It's far too easy. And the All Blacks, 29 points to 10. First nail in the coffin for this game. And Severis, of all people, has got a double. He's got a double. I mean, he still had a reasonable amount to do. And Batista Dalgar's got and this is where they missed Matthew Carreras, who's so powerful in the tackle. Right, so halftime, 29 points to 10 with a kick to come. This could be a 21-point lead if Bowden slots this. Difficult kick for him, but he's kicking well so far this evening. Now, what does Peter Contemporary tell his men now? That's looking pretty good there from Bowden Barrett. Looking very good, and it is good. 31 points to 10. Not the kind of half that Argentina would have wanted. They just faded towards the end. They're going to have to start like a house on fire in the second half. We'll be back very shortly, people. Please do smash like on the video. Get your comments in to the chat, and we'll chat about them shortly after half time. And until then, I'll see you in a bit.
A couple of questions. I want to just ask you about the Rugby Championship in a second, but just some updates quickly. First, Scott, please, on both Bowden and Scott Barrett.
Both available. Stu Barrett's ready to go.
News.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Awesome news. All right.
Pleased.
Does this Rugby Championship feel different from others recently? I know you've only been charged for one other one. It feels like it's really important, that it's even more important and more valuable to win this year. Do you get that feeling?
My job is, I understand definitely, Murray, and the importance of it. I think what you're saying is everyone's feeling is how competitive it's going to be. You know, you've just got a Aussie team that played some great footy at the back end there of the Test series. You got the South Africans, we know how strong they are, and the Argentinians on their day, so creative. Got a lot of professional players coming through Europe. That come back that are really, really well coached. So it's it's a hell of a competition, very, very tight, and just what we need.
One more question for me then. What's more important this year? And I mean, this is just a question we ask on this side of the microphone. Is it more important this year to win that Rugby Championship, or is it more important to beat the Springboks twice at home?
They're one and the same, aren't they? I think anyone that's looking at it to win the Rugby Championship, you got to beat them twice. Anyone's got to beat each other twice. That's probably the reality of it.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Cheers, Muddy.
Andrew Seville.
Sev, we've got everyone. We've got the big dogs on.
Hello. Wouldn't go that far. You can hear me okay, obviously?
Yeah, got you clear. Thank you.
Have you settled on your team, and will that be the same team for Test 1 and 2 in Argentina?
Yep, settle on the team. We name it internally tomorrow morning. And look, what I've learned in the last 3 tests, you never guaranteed that it's going to be the same team. So we play rugby, and it's a game of brutality, and it's a beautiful part of it. So, look, guys have got to play well. It's a competitive squad, and we'll look to have some continuity, but also if people perform and we need to build some depth, there could be a couple of changes.
I know you mentioned the Barretts before. What about the other guys that are coming back from injuries? Is everyone available that you took?
Wallace is still not available for the first test, and Tamaiti Williams has still got another week of full training with us before he becomes available for the second test as well. But the boys off the plane that played NPC, Simon Parker, Peter Larkai and Josh Lord made it pretty well. They trained with us today and they were great.
Simon Parker all okay?
Yeah, he's good. Mate, he's a tunny fella. He's ready to roll. He's good. He started great in. It was good to talk to the team about what it meant for him to be here, and what's inspired him and how he's got here was a nice moment for him. And like we normally traditionally do, we huckered him in and welcomed him.
So he did that in front of the team today or yesterday, or?
Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, no, we it's part of tradition, All Black tradition. When someone arrives and is named into the squad, so it was a great moment for us to get him into the group and be a part of the All Blacks.
Just finally from me, how good is it? Yes, you were together for the French series, but how good is it to get away?
Yeah. Oh, it's great. One of the gifts of being involved with an international rugby team is touring, and you're living with a group of people that love the same sport as you, and you've got some great mates, and you've got a target at the end of the week, but you enjoy the process of getting there and having fun, but also when you cross the line for training or playing, you can switch, but the connections offered are a great part of our game.
Hi, Coach. How are you, mate?
You're good, Jamie. Great, thank you.
Good. Good to hear. Hey, just on Artie, he's played, I think, about 17 games this year already and started and finished most of them. Given he's such an important part of the team, are we going to be seeing some sort of load management for him going forward, just given how much he's already played this year?
He just had 3 weeks off, and he's probably in the form of his life. So we'll take it week by week. We're mindful of his minutes, but look, one thing about him, he's resilient and consistent, and we look after and manage individuals, but he's in the zone at the moment, so we're pleased. But thanks for the sports science feedback from you, Jamie. Well done, good homework.
Thank you, mate. And just on Argentina, now they've had a really interesting year. They've managed to beat, I think, every other major test nation that they've played, including the British and Irish Lions. And then they've just dropped a series to England. What have you made of them as an opponent? What have you learnt from them over the last year, especially since the last time you played?
Yeah, well, it's still in our memories a year ago, and a couple of bounces of the ball and stayed in a fight in Wellington. They create a lot. They're a team with a lot of experience. A lot of them play in Europe. They're really well coached, and they play with passion. It's been a long time since we've been in Cordoba and played, and with their fans and the passion that come with it, it's on the night. As you said, they create a lot, and they've got speed to finish, so they're threatening. And I've mentioned this before, but with Test footy, the top 8, anyone can beat anyone on the night. You've got to be at your best in every game. So that's the exciting part of this tour.
Yep.
Alex, do you have any questions?
Can do. Evening, Razor. Hope all as well. Just on Cortez, has he stepped up in the absence of your other recognised nines?
Yeah, he's played over 10 tests for us now. We gave him a good crack last year to be ready for moments like this. He's learning like everyone does, but he gets the ball off the deck and into our 10's hands, and we want to play fast, and he'll just get better with experience and maturity.
We've obviously had the news last week that Richie Mo'unga is coming back midway through next year. Has there been a reaction in the squad? Has it talked about it all?
In our squad?
Yeah.
No, I think everyone's just really, really pleased. I think New Zealand Rugby is pleased, and just general rugby supporters that he's coming back into our game, and he's going to be around for a Rugby World Cup. He had served our country for a long time, and he's going to come back and do it again. And one thing we're really proud of is all the retention of our players. We've got a group of guys that are hugely committed to the All Blacks, and it's great to have another one back.
Do you have to sort of put an arm around guys like Bowden and Damien to let them know that there is sort of room for all the 10s you can have?
It's a pretty leading question. No, they're big boys. They know the game. It's a game of professionalism. We're here to compete. The jersey's bigger than everyone, buddy. It's so everyone knows that it's always earned. That's the exciting thing about it.
Cool. I'll hand over to give someone else a crack.
Hey, Razor, Mark Hinton here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, excellent. Hey, apologies if hopefully this wasn't asked. I just missed the very start. But how ready is Wallace for Test action if required? And the second part, any concerns about his lack of recent rugby?
Yeah. He's at the moment, tracking for Test 2. If all going well with his recovery, same as Tamati Williams.
So are they the only two of your group there that you won't consider for week 1? Is everyone else fit and available?
Yes, they are.
And just talk to Skipper and Bowden, the two Barrett boys. They've obviously both made full recoveries. Just speak to their readiness, I guess.
Yep, a couple of the Barretts are good. Yeah, they Bowden's hands fine, and Scooter, his legs all good. He's rehabbed really well. He's taken that chance to really recondition, so he's in great condition.
And just lastly from me, Scott, just the wing area, a lot of discussion around, I guess, options and who's best in those positions. Does it feel like, from your perspective, it's still a bit of a work in progress in terms of, I guess, establishing a clear pecking order, in your group? Is this still a competitive area as you look at it?
Yeah, a lot of areas are competitive, which is great. And, you give guys opportunities, and they have to take it and own it. And it's good. It's a good thing. Like, we've got a lot of guys that can play in different positions. It's how I feel about you're playing one or two positions, and guys have doing that at the moment. That some are transitioning, some have been there for a long time, and we've just got to get the best out of them, whatever the situation is. Build some combinations and cohesion, and keep creating so they can finish.
Thank you.
Hey, Razor, can you hear me?
Yep, I've got you, Richard.
Yeah, today. Hey, just we talk about playing in Argentina. Obviously, you scored the famous try, 2001. But just to I know you've touched on it before, but what makes it so difficult playing in Argentina? Your recollections as a player. Now you're going as an All Blacks coach. Can you just give us an idea of what the atmosphere, etc., you can expect to be?
Yeah, we're actually trained at River Plate facility yesterday where that game was back in 2001, and I just sort of, that 40 meters I ran, like I just sort of extended out. No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was just catch and dive, really. I think it was, but it was nice to be back there and sort of, reflect on it. But it's quite interesting. The rugby over here is such a football country, but when you arrive as All Blacks, everyone remembers it. They remember that moment. They remember Maradona being there. They remember them leading to 80 minutes. So they're still living on it. They haven't beaten us in Argentina. So there's a lot of passion. Like the game that we went to the other day, the football game for Boca's Junior, everything's, the hands is exclamation marks, and they're just so passionate. Like, they sang for 2 hours. Their playlist was unbelievable. It just wouldn't stop. It just kept going and going, and that's what we expect in Cordoba.
Okay, just on your try. I mean, I'm a generation above these kids who probably weren't even born in your team. But do they know the history about that sort of thing and that try? Did anyone come up to you and say, "Oh, coach"?
No, I didn't do a highlights reel of myself, Richard. No, not at all. It was probably not appropriate, but I don't know if they've got TikTok and all that stuff to do what they need to do. But no, we didn't. We should always start the week with history, where we sit, what the past is, and what past All Blacks and legacy has been left here, and what the expectations is for us, and we shaped it. And I think everyone knows what's ahead of us this weekend. Now it's a chance to build and perform on Saturday night.
Okay, good, Scott. And just one last injury on my list. Tuvivai, is he fully recovered from his concussion symptoms?
He's fine. He's clear.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks.
Did you meet Maradona that day?
No, I didn't. But I know he was definitely there. There was more chat about him. I think Maradona's here, everyone knew, but no, I didn't.
Hey, Razor, John Day here. Are you still buying Ben Blair some beers from that day?
Yeah, Ben, I think I suppose you sort of move on as a player, but when it comes back to you, like Ben obviously had a nice right foot step. That's probably the only move he did have, and and he can only pass off his right hand as well. So it was great to get that on the chest and dive in. But he created it. I think Contaponi missed touch and a couple of passes later in the far corner, but that was a hell of a test. As a reminder, the passion that night, and and just getting to play them, you realise how much these tests over here are and how much it means to them. So, yeah, it was a reminder.
And just on your current squad, you got some newbies. Simon Parker's one of them. Would he be ready for a cauldron in Argentina and Test rugby this weekend? And what do you like about him, and what position can he make an impact?
Oh, we obviously like him a lot because we picked him, and he can play 6 and 8, and he's off one sleep. But he turned up today. We've had some great weather here, and he slotted straight in. So we'll find out Thursday if he's playing some footy on Saturday.
And Cole Preston as well. How's he fitting in at the next level up?
Yeah, good. No, look, great. Look, sort of 1 or 2 trainings in. So look, he's getting the ball off the deck and he does his homework. He's a good pro.
Cheers.
Thank you.
We're getting close to needing to wrap up here, I think, team. Is there anyone with a burning question just to finish off?
Can I just ask, Razor, did everyone in the squad go to Boca Juniors? It looked like quite a few of the guys there.
There's a few that didn't. But there was a good crew. Like it was a pretty special moment, obviously.
Right, we're back for the second half. And Argentina trailing New Zealand 31 points to 10. At one stage, it looked like they were looking very relatively competitive, but then a late surge means that they're not well behind. And if they don't score first, then it's a long way back. It's always a long way back. Cortez Ratimer goes to the boot. It'll be contestable, and I'll give chase to Rico Wani, but not backwards. And well taken by Argentina, but they got to play better. They're too easy to score against, I think, is Argentina's biggest problem, and they're still too easy to score against. They've got the capability of sometimes scoring tries, but it's the leaky defense which continues to really haunt them. And that's been the kind of the case this evening. But they're on the front foot, yeah. And then you get a bad pass like that. And Chukabata's now under a lot of pressure from Cody Taylor. Does pretty well as the inside centre to scramble. Goes to the boot yard as Garcia. Needs to make contestable. Isgo gives chase. Scored that only try for the Argentina first half. Does knock it backwards into the hands of Julian Montoya. The Argentina captain on the halfway line. Much better this time. Lost Pumas. Garcia flings it out to Albanese. With a bit of pace there. Ball over the top. Comes back inside as Bautista Delgado. Towards the halfway line. Duplessis Karifi looking to try and get over that ball. Ball available though for Garcia. Albanese, that wasn't really on for Lucio Cinti as well. To get away from one. They're still going as Lucio Cinti. Still going as Lucio Cinti. Avoiding 3 tackles. Not making much gain line. And Cruz Malia just spinning off the tackle from Jordy Barrett. Ball available for Garcia, but they're going backwards. Argentina. Going to go to the butcher is Garcia after not much getting on. So I think we've gone back 10 meters. So once again, Rodrigo is going to give chase. Oh, he's almost taking it brilliantly. And knock on advantage, says the referee. Sever Reese scored a brace so far this evening. Cortez Ratimer back towards Bowden Barrett. Not too much on, so Bowden Barrett goes to the boot. A couple of late chases there for New Zealand. So free ball really for... that's a good tackle coming from Jordy Barrett on Rodrigo Isgro. But good ball secure from Argentina. Now, on the front foot, and on the back to Albanese. He goes to the boot. Oh, it's basically almost gone backwards from him. Not his best kick here from Albanese as he drops back. And Sever Reese goes up, but it says no advantage with the referee. Pushing there, a penalty for Argentina. Better. But they need to score early on. If they score early on, maybe game on. But they got to score early on. He's a good touch finder, yeah, does Albanors. And not bad, not bad. Phenomenal, but not bad. Inside the 22, that's the main thing. Some of the comments says, Roberto says, Wallabies will beat Argentina. Invisible says, go Argentina, show them second half. And Matthew Solomon saying, All Blacks is powerful now. If you are new, please make sure that you do subscribe to the channel on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Under 9,000 now needed. So slowly getting there. Would love to be up towards 2,000 by next weekend. And try and get to 2,000 a weekend means that we should get there close to the end of the Rugby Championship. And it's a knock-on coming from the All Blacks as they try and go. And it's a bit of afters here between the twos, and Artie Savia getting involved. And Billy Proctor getting involved. Why is it always the people that done nothing in the game that suddenly get very involved in all these sort of the fisticuffs and the likes of that? Lots of laughing, lots of pulling between the two sides. And we're going to go back for the scrum for Argentina, I believe, is the chat. Yeah, so we go back for the scrum. Argentina, they can score the back. They need to go back-to-back tries here. Actually, need to score 3 in a row, to be honest. And then only if they score 3 in a row and convert them all, it'll currently be 31 points apiece. So, yeah, it's looking unlikely from Argentina. But at the end of the day, never say never. As I said, this is a smaller margin to come back than what the Wallabies did. So it can be done. It can be done. Closing your Hoppers 12 down here at South Africa. So if you are watching from South Africa, big shout out to you guys for keeping me company throughout the day. It's been a long day of rugby. Not really the day of rugby we hoped for, but Duga Duplessis will be awake. And I mean, in fact, I think the undercard starts in a couple of hours. Off the back goes Oviedo with a bit of space there, Argentina. Good tackle and good scrambling there, but they're 10 minutes out. Argentina, opportunity for them here. Gonzalez taking a while. He's directing a bit of traffic. Big hit coming. Absorbs the pressure well, though. Lost a bit of pressure, but Duplessis Karifi done very well. Garcia with space. Hands, though. Hands from Archie. But the ball then goes up forwards, and a turnover ball of Billy Proctor goes to Sevi Reese. Sevi Reese. There's a terrible pass. And they'll go back for... No, they're looking at the forward pass. It's advantage over for the All Blacks, so it'll be another Argentina scrum. And have another go here. Bit messy, though, to be honest. Bit messy. So another knock on from another forward pass coming from the All Blacks. Been a little bit sloppy in that kind of area. I need to get myself an Argentina jersey. That would be so cool to do my watchalongs in an Argentina jersey. It looks like we're going to see a change in the front row here. So Michael Vivas goes off for now to Tez Chaparro, who had a brief stint early on. Come down here. I mean, have a reset. It's not been the greatest scrum so far this evening. We haven't really seen much. I mean, we saw one big one coming from the All Blacks, but not been massive so far. Garcia waiting. He wants to try and feed. I reckon they'll probably work to way to the right-hand side, but just give let Thomas Albanose cook. The man can cook. The man's a chef. Let's see what he can do. And a free kick for the All Blacks. Ah, dear. Don't cry for me, Argentina, but things are not going well here. Not going well at all. Not getting any sort of set-piece opportunity and just far too many mistakes, if we're going to be brutally honest. Need to up it. Need to up it. And it is actually raining outside. How's that? How is that? Well, one back from the All Blacks from the free kick, but now the ball goes loose, and Screamer actually hammers it ahead for somebody who was down and didn't look like he was going to be able to continue. He's running at full stride now. Jordy Barrett dives on the ball, but a lot of All Blacks players back. But they're back inside their own 22, so good work there from Argentina, forcing them back. To the left-hand side, Fetcher Newell carries strongly. Cortez Ratimer setting up for the box kick. They've got the safety of the 22. And looking for touch is Cortez Ratimer. Will find touch. Will they look to take it quickly? They will not. Well, Argentina, and they'll have a line just past 10-meter line. They've actually been camped out in the All Blacks half so far. The All Blacks have had very little possession and field territory so far in this half. Just haven't really been able to make a count so far, has the home side. To the front of the line. Good line at that. Garcia flings it out to Albanese. Oviedo finding himself in the midfield. Slow ball this from Argentina. Garcia eventually goes digging for it. Good carry that coming from Rubiolo. Garcia pops it up. Inside ball. Good read from Tubo Vai, Jean Cruz Malia. Severis on the ball, but unsuccessful. To the right hand side goes Garcia. Looks to straighten as Rubiolo. Takes contact, spins in the tackle. Ball available for Garcia. To the right hand side once again. Almost goes flat. That's a great line being run by Oviedo. He needs support. That is the big 8 man. Gets it inside. Argentina into the 22. This is much better from them. Slow ball here, though. Marcus Kremenal goes short to Pablo Matera. Big hit on him from his opposite number, Tupo Vai. Duplessis Cariffi over the ball, but told to leave it. And around the back door they go. Cody Taylor wants to have a go. Ball available for Argentina. Montoya picks up and goes. Much better from Argentina. Can they make it count, though? Garcia. Malia. Hands, but it goes backwards, and it's going to have to go fetch this is Lucio Cinti. But there's no advantage. The referee had a penalty advantage going, so they'll go back for the penalty. Or it was actually a knock-on, I think, there from the All Blacks. Yeah, knock-on. So we'll go back for the scrum. So frustrating. They're there, but not capitalizing. It was a big hit that on Pablo Matera. Goodness me. Right, the front row replacement here for the All Blacks, as well as Cortez Ratimer. So they've gone to the bench here, have the All Blacks. Scott Robertson has made quite a few changes here. So it looks like we're going to see Samasoni Takawao on, as well as Oli Norris and Pasido Tosi. And it looks like Finley Christie will get an opportunity as well. We haven't seen him that much this year. It's a big clashes so far in this game. Been a good watch. It's been a good watch. I don't know if the director's trying to show a no-arms tackle or they're showing that hit over and over again. Garcia to the left-hand side. Albanese. Albanese shakes with one. Albanese still going. Albanese breaks through. Oh, look at that. I'll tell you what. That is pretty classy from the fly-off as he dives over. Hits the first tackler and then bang, backs on the pace. That's a brilliant try from him. Well, there we go. That breathed a little bit of life into the game. Such a classy player as Thomas Albanese. And that's got the crowd on their feet. Rightly so. So good from this little fly half. The maestro, really, of this Argentinian side, Thomas Albanese. And that's a phenomenal individual try. That's really, really good. Just taking a second to catch his breath. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And Beauden Barrett's got to do better as well. I mean, that's about 4 defenders beaten in that that run for Thomas Albanose. It's so good. The line he found once he bounced off the tackle was remarkable. Not the kind of impact that Scott Robertson would have wanted to see from his bench. Well, that's a great take back from Jordy Barrett. Turnover boy for the All Blacks. And Sevi Reece on a hat trick. Carries into the 22. Slow ball there. Beauden Barrett fires it out towards Will Jordan. Will Jordan straightens, sees a bit of space. Guido Petty on the park, by the way. Beauden Barrett to the right hand side of Geordie. Long pass out wide to Sevi Reece. Sevi Reece steps back inside. Finley Christie goes short. Big carry that coming from Fabian Holland. Finley Christie flat to Tupou. Good tackle on him. Archie back on the back foot though. Jordy Barrett back inside to Samasoni Takawao. Hampered by injuries last year. Didn't see much of him in an All Black shirt. Now Ollie Norris, the loose head. Finley Christie pops it up, but loses it in contact. In fact, the penalty for Argentina. There we go. You can see Marlon Matera's up for it. And that's what they need. Penalties and some big pressure moments to start to find a bit of a grip in this game, Argentina. They score next. Game's back on. Still trail by 14. But there's still plenty of time to go. 28 minutes left on the clock. Right, line out here for Montoya. Go to the front of the line. Good take that. Nice rolling Moya. Starting to get a bit of front foot ball here. Much better than small Argentina. Ball available for Garcia. Goes to the boot. And Beauden Barrett takes it really well out the air. Available for Finley Christie. He goes to Duplessis Karifi. We haven't seen enough of them on the ball. Available for Finley Christie. Marcus Green, by the way, is made way. And John Martin Gonzalez is onto the park. Underneath the Thomas Albanose. The try scorer runs into Jordy Barrett, who is up to the task. Ball available for Garcia. Had a good game so far. Has the little number 9. Good player as well. I enjoy watching him play Zolo Garcia. But penalty once again. And all of a sudden, not rolling. The All Blacks are guilty of being pretty ill-disciplined. Need to step up their game here if they're going to try and put this away. But Argentina doing very, very well to stay in the fight here. And they come out in the second half, they look good. They've actually had hardly any ball in the Argentina half, have the All Blacks, apart from the last couple of minutes where they had that, about 6 or 7 phases. That's about it, though, to be honest. Llewellyn Belito says, time for McKenzie to come on. I tend to agree. I think that would be a good shout. That would be a good shout. Having a conversation as the referee. I don't know if they're going to cancel that out now. Having a look at, we got a sign there. So Patrick Tupou, by the way, is on for Scott Barrett. Scooter, as he's known, getting through 55 minutes. That'll do him a good as he comes back from injury. Right, so line out in the Inside 22. It's a good kick there from Thomas Albanose. Montoya goes to the front. Good line out. Chukwubaro's the first receiver. Albanose goes short. Nice run being there from Lucio Sinti. Nice run there from Batista Talga. Good energy this from Argentina. To the right-hand side, though. Chukwubaros shakes off Jordy Barrett, which is no small feat. Pablo Matera now on the front foot. Battling it hard in the trenches. There's Pablo Matera all day with the Argentinian number 6. Albanose goes short. Caught on the ball as Jean Martin Gonzalez, but fighting, gets away from the tackle. Still goes Jean Martin Gonzalez. Eventually brought down to ground. Available for Garcia to the right-hand side. Montoya first receiver. Little space over Lucio Sinti. A little bit unimaginative there from the Argentina. But now a bit of space and Alban Albanose goes to. Gets all the way on the ground, but they leave it behind. Knocked forward from Argentina. Not good enough there at all. Couple of big carries there, but that's a bit sloppy. First real carry there of the evening for the replacement Santiago Carreras on in jersey number 22. And he replaced Rodrigo Isgro out on the wing. Do. Right, scrimmage outside the 22. Finley Christie will feed. Goes down. And penalty Argentina. Tell you what, everything seems to be going the way of the Argentinians so far in this evening. Charlie saying, how do you feel about the off the box loss? Yeah, pretty heartbroken, to be honest. What I will say is that not enjoying the attack that I've had by the Kiwi lads, who have all been all over me, and the Kiwi supporters. You know, we've got a good rivalry going, but don't get too loud because we are on a 4-game winning streak against you. So we'll wait until we cross swords there. Because they were very quick to tell us how we're finished. Lots of them. Not everyone, but lots of them. And I wasn't a fan of that. It's a bit of a messing out there. Was even played in the air. Free kick, says the referee for Argentina. And quickly taken for Pablo Matera. He puts his head down. Pablo Matera just short. Penalty advantage for Argentina. Penalty, surely it's going to be a yellow card. It is going to be a yellow card for New Zealand. This could be a big, big turning point in the game. And who's going off here? I think it's it couldn't be number 4. I think it's Billy Proctor that's going off. It is indeed, right? So, yellow card for New Zealand. 5 meters out. Call for the scrum. That's confidence. That's confidence. I like that. Loren says, you're the best commentator, bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Jan van Koolart saying, lekker. And Josh says, and you were on a 4 GM winning streak against Oz 2. Yeah, no. Yeah, we were. But just saying, all these must come to an end. Interesting to see how we respond, to be honest. A lot of Bok fans, some of Bok fans saying maybe it's a good thing. You know, maybe having that loss kind of shocks us into stepping at the performance and maybe having a lot of introspective looking. I think we've got a lot of players who will come in next week, which I think will very much probably line up against the All Blacks. And I'm thinking of someone like a Ruan O'Keefe, for example, who's playing such good rugby at the moment. He'll be a big difference. Damien Delende will make a big difference. Having Cheslin Colby back next week will be a big difference. Garcia losing the ball behind. Backwards, says the referee. Not ideal, but then loses it forward to Argentina. Turnover ball for the All Blacks. Oh, come on. Surely not. That's so sloppy. Christie now. Left-hand side. Duplessis Karifi. Knock-on advantage for the All Blacks. Should be over. Finley Christie. Goes to Broden Barrett in the pocket. It does find a touch, but it's not well outside the championship, the 22. Shady says, but don't you think it's good for the championship? I'm a Springbok, but we'll be back next week. Yeah, well, it does definitely blow it wide open. I mean, I think, let's be honest, going into this, we were probably thinking beat Australia 2-0, comes down to the New Zealand games. Now, for example, we're going to have to beat New Zealand twice to just even probably be in the competition. Even then, it might not be enough. So I think it's good to see that Wallabies are competitive. And I think they're going to give the All Blacks a good go. I think they'll give Argentina a good go. I think they'll beat Argentina, to be honest. But that's much better from Argentina. Ball available here. Garcia goes to Montoya. Albanose hangs on well after the tackle from Jordy Barrett. Slow to roll, though. Garcia. Gonzalez now. And Oviedo almost finds a gap. Good work this from Argentina. Garcia, quick ball. Wants to go himself. Garcia almost goes through. Penalty advantage here for Argentina. Pick up and go. From Guido Petty. Pick up and go once again. This time that looks like Rubiolo. Petty, good work there from him. Albanose goes to the cross kick with penalty advantage on. Lucio Cinti, who does well, puts it back in. Oh, can't quite hold on, but it goes backwards. And a bit of space with Batista Delgado. The referee then says knock on. They'll go back for the penalty advantage. They're all over the All Blacks here, Argentina. They score here. This could be a genuine game-on situation. Looking for the scrum, I think, once again here, or Argentina, or tap and go maybe. I'll just go for the corner. Go for the line out here. Jan says we needed a wake-up clap before we go to New Zealand. Well, that's the thing. That's what a lot of people are saying, that maybe this could be a blessing in disguise. Right, Chukabaros puts his head down. He's carried well, though, far as number 12 for Argentina this evening. Garcia now. Oh, Jordy Barrett was up far too quickly. Yeah, says the referee. Penalty advantage once again here for Argentina. They're playing against a 40-man in New Zealand. And New Zealand need to be careful. It doesn't become a 13-man New Zealand as Paulo Matera goes. Montoya pick up around the corner. He goes. He's just short. They're right on the doorstep here, Argentina. Garcia. Albanose to the left-hand side. But Lucio Cinti steps inside. Lucio Cinti, leg drive just short. Ball available for Garcia. They're so close here, Argentina. Still a penalty advantage, though. Free roll of the dice, really. Go wide, boys. Go wide. To wrap around. Albanose pops it over. And surely Baptista. How has he not scored? Garcia, pick up and go. Garcia just short. Ball available. But finally, he's got a grounding. He's got grounding. Nah, he's got it. The referee, he hasn't seen it because he's behind the game as usual. But he's got grounding. Argentina have scored again. This game is on. This game is on. This was worth staying up for. That was the big thing I wanted to say. It's like when we were staying up for this game, and it better be worth the damn game. And so far, we're starting to see a game that is living up to its billing. We're going to have a check, but from as far as I'm concerned, this grounding was good. Argentina have scored, and game is properly on. Yep, no issue there. Try eventually gets awarded, and right by the polls. So this should be straightforward for Thomas Albanose. 2 unanswered tries for Argentina. All right, let's see what they're saying here. Yeah, asking my questions there is Julie Montoya, just saying amount of penalties, no yellow card, saying that, you know, there's, and I think this is the thing, Argentina have got to stay on them because they're down to 14 men, the All Blacks, and I think they could be very, very much at risk of going down to 30 men. Just such good work being done there by Oviedo. Just rides the contact and then puts his hand over the top, dots it down. And what was 31 points to 10 is now 31 points to 24. Contaponi on his feet. Well, we saw one epic comeback earlier today. Could we be seeing another one right before us? And I'll tell you what, I'd love to see the second half possession stats. We actually put some stats on the screen. Good kicking behind there. Nice clearance. Very, very nice clearance. Yeah, let me get some stats on the screen for you guys so we can have a look at exactly what's cooking here. The big thing that Argentina can't do is they just can't concede. And Garcia gives away. What a game he had, the little scrum off. Very, very impressive evening. Oh, there we go. We've got some stats for you. Looking for a good running more here is New Zealand. Out to the right-hand side. Patrick Tupolotto. Been good since coming on as the number 19. He's still got the short side. Ari Savia. A bit of a quiet second half with the lack of possession here from the All Blacks. Finley Christie. Tupisi Karifi. Good carry there from him. Ollie Norris now. Penalty advantage, not being able to roll away quick enough. So a free roll of the dice here for the All Blacks. Will Jordan. And the referee will award the penalty. Much better this from the All Blacks. Getting a bit of opportunity with ball in hand for them. Their first real spell of possession. And I mean, you can see in the territory stats there, a lot of it now all of a sudden in the All Blacks half. In the first half, they were all over Argentina, but Argentina have done well. And now most of the game has actually been played in the All Blacks 22. Which is an impressive shift. It's a properly impressive shift. It was a good tackle from Paulo Matera, but just couldn't find his way to roll at all. And I think what he does wrong there is Martin Gonzalez. He goes for the ball, and the problem is, as soon as he goes for the ball, he almost necessitates the penalty because New Zealand can't get it. But anyway, some say take a while. Very important. I wonder if they'll contest this ball. Argentina, they go to the top, to the back they go. Looking for the rolling Moya are the All Blacks. Oh no, oh my goodness, they've got to run. They've got to run. It's just stopped. How's it stopped? That's Thomas Albanose. Thomas Albanose stopped that dead. That's bizarre. I thought they had to run there, but Thomas Albanose has gotten involved, and he's just, you know what, I'm just doing it all myself, really. Oh, that's a great turnout on the ball. Oh, no ways! No ways! Oh, I don't believe that. Oh, that looked like such a good steal on the ground. You can't, I mean, just poor Joel Slavia. I mean, something that size. Karifi, good carry. Penalty advantage for Argentina. Finley Christie. Somewhere took a while. It's just short. Argentina can't concede here. They concede here. That's probably the game. Ball over the top. Carreras is there. Makes a good tackle. Still penalty advantage for New Zealand. Finley Christie goes to Posse. Good tackle on him. Goes flying in there, does Finley Christie. That should be looked at, Mr. Ref. We could see foul play here. Finley Christie's gone diving in head first into the ruck. I'm surprised we're not having another look at that. And if this is foul play, it'll be overturned. And you see, it's still not back to a full contingent. You actually haven't seen the incident there, either the breakdown incident nor the penalty itself. Maybe one. I think it's a bit harsh. I think it's a pretty good turnover, to be honest. Very strict on the breakdown these days, our referees. On the 5-meter line here, Argentina desperate to try and stop this from New Zealand. Another change, though. I didn't quite see who it was. If it's Argentina, they've only got Simon Bennett. Well, he's actually on his Benitez cruise. So they've just got Justo Mercado on the bench for Argentina. For the All Blacks, I don't know if that was potentially Damien McKenzie. McKenzie came on a bit earlier, so it could be Antonina Brown maybe on. Or I'll say Simon Penny Finau. Breaks the second while, and over he goes, and that's a massive moment for the All Blacks. It's exactly what they needed. You can see the frustration from Thomas Albanese because they've been looking so much better for Argentina. But their maul has looked dangerous, and they've used it well. Yeah, I mean, it's just so much power. So much power. But it's quite an important kick, that, actually. And it comes off the bar. So 12 points the advantage. If Argentina strike quickly and convert it, then the game is still on. Deep restart to the head to Artie Savia. Good tackle on him. Finley Christie goes to Bowden Barrett. So Damien McKenzie, by the way, playing fullback. Barrett stayed on. Right, Thomas Albanese looking to run it back. He's full of running as Thomas Albanese. Good tackle that coming from Antonina Brown. So it wasn't Brown that came on. Ball available for Benitez Cruz. Slavi, the big man. Good hands, good hands. Ball pops back inside. Loses it forward. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. Turnover ball. Bowden Barrett to Antonina Brown. Into Brown. Chips over the top. Well positioned is Albanese. Oh, cheap as well. Got away with that. It's been charged down by Will Jordan, who shifted to the wing, by the way. So Damien McKenzie came on for Stevie Reese. They've shifted Will Jordan to the wing and put Damien McKenzie at full back. Obviously, they've got to try and find a way. Good work this from John Martin Gonzalez. He's so good on the ball as John Martin Gonzalez. Absolute live wire. To the right-hand side. Just over 8.5 minutes left on the clock here. If Argentina score the next few, game on. They've been so good in the second half. Much better than what we thought we'd see from them. And then they've just completely gifted the ball back to the All Blacks with a really, really overcooked up and under that goes into the full. Bit of a messy line like that from the All Blacks, but eventually gets down from Patrick Tupolotto. I mean, that maul's been so... Yeah, there we go. Penalty advantage again. They've gone back to the maul whenever they've... And this is what maybe the Box needed to do. The All Blacks were under pressure, so what have they done? They simplified things. They went to the maul, and they've dominated that. Ball over the top from Burton Barrett. Has he overcooked that? No, he's put it brilliantly. But I'll go back for the penalty anyway. Some of the comments saying, Jan van Killer says, who is refereeing this game is Pierre Basset. Blue Ball Superfan says, try for the All Blacks. As Josh says, game over, he records Carlos Rita saying, All Blacks back where they belong, #1. And Blue Ball's Superfan reckons All Blacks will definitely score another try. Well, 7 minutes left on the clock. And looking pretty comfortable so far, the All Blacks. Well, the sad thing as well about that Bok loss is it was the most expensive match of the year to go watch in South Africa. So the most expensive match, and you go there and you watch the first loss to Australia at Ellis Park in 50 years. 50 years! Yeah, I'd be so hacked. Back to the running more, go the All Blacks. Ominous signs once again. Tuck a while. Try time. And that's what I said. In the second half, they've been under all this pressure. And what do? They keep it simple. They go to the rolling maul. And they're over twice within a few minutes. And that will be the game. Takawa celebrates his second. This is now a bit of a runaway from New Zealand, which doesn't do it justice, really, considering how the half was starting to shape up. So frustrating from an Argentina perspective, because this should have been a lot closer than it's ended up being. Yeah, it's been a proper response to those 2 tries, and it's amazing how you said you just take things back to basic. Where can you hurt them? You hurt them at the rolling maul, so they just went to the rolling maul and they've hammered them a few times, and Argentinians haven't been able to cope. And I think what we've seen from the All Blacks is exactly what we didn't see from the Box. Is going back, keeping it simple, and sticking your strengths. Yeah, I'm straight from Argentina. They come back, look good, but you got to say it's very good work from New Zealand. They just went back and kept it simple. And he's actually, he's come off the back of Rico Awani, but strange. So out in the full there from the All Blacks. So maybe an opportunity now for Argentina to have another go. Another try means they'll still be 10 points behind, even if it converted. Ball over the top. There's poor line out there. Really poor line out. Ball over the top for Burton Barrett. And Benitez Cruz on it. All the way back. Gets back to his feet. The penalty for diving on him. Quickly taken though from the scrum off. But not at the mark. Says the referee, and back they go. Even that's just silly. Silly. Josh P. says, Archer their charts when they got the All Blacks to 14. Once All Blacks got back to 15, it wasn't close enough for a sweat. 100%. Freddie from Feared says, you don't like the All Blacks. Well, I'm a Bok fan. What do you want from me? When am I ever going to like the All Blacks? They're our biggest rivals. You're asking a Arsenal fan to like Spurs. You're asking an England cricket fan to like Australia cricket. You know, you're asking a Lions fan to like the Bulls. No, I don't like the All Blacks. Of course, I want to see them lose. It's our biggest rivals, and I like Argentina. So correct. Glad we've established that. It's a good pick up there from Albano. There's a bit of space out here. A long pass out wide. Santiago Carreras. It's actually Jean Cruz Malio. Ball back aside to Delgado up to the 5 meter line. Where's this been here from Argentina? Benitez Cruz. Oh, jeepers me. I'm surprised they've awarded that. It's frustrated there. And stop, says the referee. I want to go back to look at something. TMO. Potential foul play, I think, is what the call is. So this might yet be turned over once again. and it was actually just changed the remove that yellow card, which has been over. So we're going back to look at potential foul play here. I don't know what we're looking at. Oh, jeepers there. Looking at that hit there on Sugar Bodies from Antonina Brown. Oh, it's clumsy, eh? I tell you what, it's clumsy. It looks like it's almost head-on-head contact. Antonina Brown. Oh, that's clumsy. That's very clumsy. I think this would be at the minimum a penalty. It is head-on-head contact there. That's really, really clumsy from Antonina Brown. He almost like pulls out the tackle and kind of just runs into him. There's definitely head-on-head contact. It's going to be an interesting decision to come from the referees. I don't think you're going to see necessarily your red card material, but definitely probably at least a penalty. Very, very clumsy. And it's going to be a yellow card, and they'll probably look at the bunker there. Yeah, it doesn't wrap, nothing, kind of just runs into it. Right, yellow card for New Zealand. They'll finish with 14 men. Now that I've just removed that yellow card, I can put it back onto the screen. And it is number 22. He's actually got a blood nose for his troubles there, as Antonina Brown. So New Zealand back down to 14 men. Argentina, not enough time to win this game, but enough time to maybe score a try, maybe get an opportunity to get a bonus point. Could still potentially be on. A try puts them 10 points behind. If they were to go bang, bang very quickly, they could potentially get a bonus point. They can't win the game at the end of the day. You know, 2 tries puts them at 38 points. So there's not enough time for a win, but yeah, a quick try. There could be time to try and go for a bonus point. Get yourself a 4 tries for a start, and then get yourself within 7. It's a very chuff-looking bench on the side for the All Blacks. Good start to the campaign. To go beat Argentina in Argentina is a good start. Argentina will need to be a lot better next week if they are to try and compete with this All Black side, but they'll take confidence out of certain moments. And they go to the back. Oh, New Zealand win that lineup. Well, that just sums it up, doesn't it? Not clinical, Argentina. They've had the opportunities, but not clinical enough from them. Finley Christie rolls the boot ball back and goes to the boot. And finds a good touch finder. So Argentina will have another go inside the 22. Need to be better at set piece to Argentina. They've just not been good enough. And they're allowing them to get back into the game. Oh, a bit of a messy line once again. Ball's going to go back off, and this is going to be another Argentina line out. They said it's a knock-on, so they got the option of the scrum. If I'm Argentina, I'm taking the scrum. They've just lost back-to-back line-outs. Surely you go for the scrum, yeah. No, they want the line-out. That's a big, bold call. Bold call. Ignacio Ruiz is struggling at the line-out here, but they're backing it again. Oh, and they've just lost it again. Why would you do that? I can't understand that logic. You lost back-to-back line-outs. You've got the option of a line-out or a scrum, and you elect for the line-out, and then you lose it again. That is horrendous. That is absolutely appalling from Argentina. Last minute of the game, and not be good enough at the end of the day. This All Black side, though, it looks like you can have a go at them. I mean, 41 points, 24. You'd be pretty chuffed with that, but they have conceded 3 tries. A couple of soft moments. So I don't think that... They don't look untouchable. They don't look untouchable. I don't know if that's just me trying to convince myself they don't look untouchable, but I genuinely think, I think Argentina scored tries against them. France scored tries against them. So I think they're a bit like the Box. I think they've got the capacity to score lots of points, but they can be vulnerable to conceding lots of points as well. So not 100% convincing, I would say, throughout the 80 minutes, but overall pretty polished. It's the fact that they were under so much pressure, and then they came back and had those 2 more tries, for example. And that ability to close out games is so important. And that, I think, is what obviously the Boks lacked today, was be able to put the foot in the throat and see out that game. Whereas that's what the All Blacks have done very well. Oh, jeepers, Geordie Barrett trying to chip that out, and he almost hit the flag, and it almost stayed in. That could have been an absolute horror moment from Geordie Barrett. He has a laugh with the Argentina players. But, final score 41 points, 24. Impressive stuff from the All Blacks. Frustrating from Argentina. They'll know where they went wrong. But at the end of the day, New Zealand had to weather a storm. Were under a lot of pressure, but responded very, very well. And I think that is their big takeaway from this evening. And interesting to sort of see how things will move from this week to next week. People, it's been a long day. It's been a long way. It's past 1 a.m. Drickus du Plessis fighting in about 5 hours' time. We're all going to break you up as a country for that. We're not probably going to do a live stream for that. We'll see you in the morning. But please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We're over 1,000 subscribers today. So big shout out to all of the new people, part of the community. And we'll see you guys all tomorrow for some more content. And then a big week coming up as we basically try to break down what we saw today